Listening to Fox News.
Miss, missed you this morning. Kim told me you weren't feeling well, so I'm just doing a self-care check.
Oh, thank you, friend.
How you doing?
Girl, listen, my energy was so low because I didn't eat breakfast when I got up, so I had to miss virtual yoga with y'all.
Trust me, I understand.
But I'm doing much better.
The poll here, I know you're watching the World Cup, and STL says here, poll today, are you watching the World Cup? Reply, the world what? And I thought maybe I just didn't know what I was talking about.
No, it's the World Cup.
Which is totally possible.
Mundial.
USA, please.
All right, you're live.
Okay.
Iran. I learned yesterday that it's
Iran. Yeah, so did everybody else. The first time. You're on.
All right, we're here. Today's YouTube poll. Are you watching the World Cup? Yes, or no? And I love to read some comments about the World Cup.
What you think?
Are you watching the World Cup?
I am not. I am working.
Why not?
That's a good reason.
Yeah, I get that too.
Did I watch it on what day was that? Saturday that they played?
I don't honestly know.
What day it was.
I just had to make sure it was actually called the World Cup.
Yeah, it was Friday when they played England. And I'll tell you what, I had a bunch of fun talking trash to England fans because they couldn't score on us.
Didn't we tie?
Yeah, 0-0.
What? See?
Never.
Oh man, that's my problem with soccer right there.
Oh man. I also redid the USA chant. You guys know the USA chant, right? The
USA.
No.
Oh, I believe one.
Yeah.
I can chant USA would be the best one.
Yeah, it's like I believe it.
I believe that we
I believe that we will win.
Okay.
You know,
I thought that was like the high school football.
Yeah, but that's kind of the U.S. soccer, United States men's team chant.
All right, pre-show, let's talk about what's going to be in the show. There's a giveaway today. Not one, two giveaways. Should we say what it is?
Yeah.
For the Trans Orchestra.
You should tell the pre-show people when we're gonna do them.
Oh yeah.
During
the pre-show, we're gonna do 2 ticket
At least
giveaways.
the segments that we're gonna get.
Yeah. We're gonna do 1 ticket giveaway, and then the third segment of the first hour, and then we're gonna do another giveaway in the first segment of the third hour.
The what?
The third hour.
What segment?
First.
Okay. I need to know so I do it.
So we're doing first and third, and then third and first.
And producers, you need to help remind me to do those giveaways.
Oh, yeah.
On the show sheet. We have 2 unique guests for today. One of them is at 105. Michael Cunningham from the Heritage Foundation will be joining us to talk about protests in China and all that jazz.
He spent a significant amount of time in China. He actually lives in China and Taiwan, and he speaks, I think it's Mandarin fluently, which is pretty cool. So he's got a pretty good crowd on that. And then at 125, we're going to have Nick Johnson in from the Vitae Foundation because today's Giving Tuesday.
Oh.
And we're going to let you guys learn a little bit more about the Vitae Foundation, and hopefully maybe you guys will find it in your hearts to give a little toward a great cause.
Once again, rundown. Trans-Siberian Orchestra ticket giveaway. First one at 12:45 in Wings America usually is. Michael Cunningham 105, Nick Johnson 125. Another Trans-Siberian Orchestra giveaway 205, and then we'll end with the poll result. He made it back on time. Yay.
Water.
Voila.
All right. Are we ready to go?
I think we're ready for the
All right. Let's start the show.
.com/gift guide. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll free at 888-367-6512.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom.
It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Well, happy Tuesday. Happy Giving Tuesday. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're glad that you're here. I don't know that you got to hear, if you've been listening to the Kilmeade Show, I don't know how much of the Kevin McCarthy press conference that you got to hear this morning. A very, very interesting press conference that took place. Do you still have that queued up?
I do.
You still? Okay. Because I might go to you, and we might just listen through this and start and stop it. Now you'll just have to be on the trigger finger.
I'll be watching you.
Yeah, practice good trigger control there. Kevin McCarthy and the Democrats had a meeting with Joe Biden today, and they were supposed to talk about the lame duck Congress and the changing of the guard that's going to take place in January, and they talked about the railway protest as well. And it turned into a conversation that, maybe had some merits, maybe didn't. But after the fact, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi walk out and they met with the media. They answered some questions, and they did make a comment about the railway potential strike, and they said that they did feel like there was goodwill in the room to get something done and to avoid the railway strike. 30% of the goods are trafficked through our railway system. We should really avoid a strike, shouldn't we? So then after Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi come out and talk to the press, Kevin McCarthy comes out and talks to the press. Now, we've talked about protests overseas taking place in China. Of course, there's a high-stakes soccer matchup between Iran and the United States, and that comes with a lot of geopolitical implications as well. And then, of course, yesterday, we did talk a little bit about that railway strike with Steve Moore with the Heritage Foundation, talking about how impactful this would be to the United States should it actually end up happening, evolving into a strike. And so they met with President Biden to discuss all of these things. The Democrats, as I said, they come out and they talk. And then Kevin McCarthy comes out. And listen to how this press conference unfolds. Kevin McCarthy walks.
That I can work with anyone who's willing to work to get our spending under control, to work to make America energy independent, to secure our borders. CRs are not where we want to be, but if we cannot get our work done now, the outgoing majority, if they don't want to work with us, we can get this work done in January as well. But we had a in-depth conversation about the security of the border and fentanyl coming across, killing our younger generation. Ways that we can make energy and our natural gas be able to produce more to help those in Europe, our allies and others. And ways that, if it is possible to work together, get our spending in control because of how much has been wasted throughout. But take questions from you.
Peter McCarthy, what about the railroad?
You have yet to condemn the former president for
no, I don't think anybody should be spending any time with Nick Fuentes. He has no place in this Republican Party. I think President.
So there you have the first question out of a meeting where you have Republican leadership, Democrat leadership, and Joe Biden in a room to discuss some incredibly big issues. And the first question that's asked of Kevin McCarthy, who's currently the House Minority Leader, likely to be the Speaker of the House, the first question that is asked of him is about a meeting that Donald Trump, a dinner that Donald Trump had with Nick Fuentes, who's a piece of trash. I'll just put that out there like that in case you have any questions about how I feel about Nick Fuentes. I think that we talked about him. Did we talk about him on the air? Do you remember that one time?
Yeah, it's been months and months.
A year ago. I don't even know. But he was talking. I did not know who he was. And he was talking at a Nick Fuentes was talking at a convention that was happening counter to CPAC, as I understand it, I think in Florida. And I listened to some of the things he said, and then I did some research on him. This guy's a piece of trash. And I don't even understand how he has gotten the platform to this point. And I don't understand how he got an audience with Donald Trump either. Donald Trump says he doesn't know him. Okay. I don't know. Here's what I do know. Milo Yiannopoulos is working with Kanye West on Kanye West's quest to become president. Okay. Kanye West, and I'm saying Kanye West. He goes by Ye, but I'm going to call him Kanye West. If you'd like to correct me, he can come on the show and do so. Kanye West, as the majority of people know him, Ye, as he is calling himself, is running for president, and Milo Yiannopoulos has become somewhat of a campaign manager for Kanye. And as I understand it, I think Milo was a part of setting up this meeting, this dinner. I'm not 100% sure about the details of that. But I can't imagine that Kanye West's interests in his pursuit to be the president of the United States are in sync with Donald Trump's quest to be the president of the United States. Like, if they have an interest in a mutual, or not in a mutual, but in the same position, in the same office, one of them would have to fail for the other to succeed. So I don't see how it would be in Donald Trump's best interest to be meeting with Nick Fuentes, especially if he knows who he is. I just don't understand that. But I also see an advantage from a kind of dirty defensive type of a way for Kanye West to gain an audience with Donald Trump and bring along Nick Fuentes that would be destructive to Donald Trump. I don't know. I see some pieces laying on the table. I'm trying to make them fit together because it doesn't really make sense to me why he would. I don't know why Donald Trump would be meeting with Nick Fuentes at all. With all of that being said, that's more than I wanted to spend on the subject at all because, listen, we have serious concerns across the country. The economy is a concern. The southern border is a concern. What's going on in China is a concern. What's going on between Ukraine and Russia is a concern. What's going on in a nuclear pursuing Iran is a concern. We have a lot of concerns. The very first question that comes out of a reporter's mouth, the most important thing for the media to know about what took place between Republican and Democrat leadership and the president of the United States is about Nick Fuentes having dinner with Donald Trump. The reason why I didn't want to speak about this is because I am fairly certain that the majority of you don't know who Nick Fuentes is. And for me to talk about him here makes you potentially Google Nick Fuentes. And I don't want anybody to know his name because, like I said, he's a piece of trash. And I have no interest in promoting his name because in the world that he lives in, he believes, like many do, that any publicity, all publicity is good publicity. So I don't really want to talk about him. So we're going to discuss this here for this segment, and then we're going to be done with the subject. That's the first question that the media, who is there to advocate for you, that's the first thing that they want to know, which is proof positive that the media does not care about you. They care about their agenda, that their important goal for that day and for that conversation is to try to ding Donald Trump. This man has a spell on these people. Donald Trump has bewitched these people, and all they think about is him. He is not in power. Nick Fuentes is not a factor in the lives of American citizens, and both of those two people have been deemed more important topic of conversation than the man who actually is the president of the United States, speaking to the people who are actually the leaders of the Democrat and the Republican parties. Folks, the media is broken. It's not there to advocate for you. It does not care about you. It cares about itself. Let's keep listening in to this press conference and hear more from Kevin McCarthy.
Trump came out 4 times and condemned him and didn't know who he was.
Well, he just said he didn't know who he was. He didn't condemn him or his ideology.
Well, I condemn his ideology. It has no place in society.
What is your take?
And what about the former president for deciding to have that dinner?
The president didn't know who he was, and the president has given up. You know what? He's been. So he knew who Conde West is. He didn't know who Fuentes is. Yes, sir.
Senator McCarthy, did you get a sense that anything is going to be different in dealing with this White House now that Republicans are going to have a House majority in dealing with the border or in dealing with energy independence?
I think the administration got an indication it's going to be different.
How so?
I invited the president to go to the border with me. I explained to the president, he asked me about the border, so I told him about my current trip. Just in El Paso, on one overhang of a freeway, 70,000 people have come across in the last 7 weeks. If we would send people back to the country that they came from, the border agents would tell you they stopped coming. The border agents themselves are cut short, that there's not enough of them, that they're sitting and working the job as processing. We could have somebody else do that job so they could be out front. I explained to the president what I saw, where you could see the videos of these cartels literally shooting tracers at our National Guard. A woman hung because she didn't pay the cartel. Her feet cut off, put on fire, that the cartel is controlling as you watch them across. But I also explained to him what's happening when it comes to fentanyl. There's not just any city. Every city today is now a border city. Your affinity with Bakersfield now. In our own junior high, a junior high at the age of 13 brought 150 fentanyl pills to school. It's killing our youngest generation from 18 to 45, the #1 factor. Coming from China, making these cartels wealthy. So you've got to lean on President Xi. You got to stop the cartels, and my expression to the president too was, it is a different situation now that it's become so bad that we need to have our own military embedded with the border agents to be able to be on a level competing with these cartels and what they have done. The control of our border is lost right now. That is why I asked Homeland Security Secretary to resign. And come January 3rd, we'll have an investigation of why the border has become the situation it is, and not to allow them to continue along the same path. Yes, sir.
Did you express any position on the rail legislation the president has called for?
Yes, it's unfortunate that we're here, because I know the president told us all that this was solved long before the election. And now we find ourselves in the last moments, in the last hours, asking us to rush a bill to the floor. Nobody wants the economy to fail. Nobody wants this to happen. But this is another situation where an administration told us one thing, just like they told us about inflation was transitory. We found that it was not. This was in a negotiation that was selected by this administration. This was something that was celebrated by this administration, that it was fixed. And now, right before a holiday season, right when farmers need to ship their goods and others, we have to rush something to the floor.
Do you think it'll pass?
I think it will pass, but it's unfortunate that this is how we're running our economy today. This has all got to stop and change. We need an economy that is strong. And if you're passing a bill to force the rail workers to work, how strong is your economy? If you have gas prices that you can't simply depend upon, that it continues to rise, you're going into winter, and you're wondering, can you afford your winter heating? That's not an economy that's strong. I think that's why in the election, they made a change in Congress. And this is what we're going to focus on for the American people. We're going to make an economy that's strong. That it's not government dictating where somebody can work. We're going to have an economy that workers can work. We're going to have an economy that has energy prices that are lower, that you have money to fill up your tank and still go to dinner. We're going to secure our borders so your kids know that they are safe. And then we're going to have a government that's accountable. No longer is the administration going to look you in the eye and lie to you and tell you a border is secure when it's not.
So this is Kevin McCarthy today speaking right outside of having a meeting at the White House, I suppose, with President Biden and he being there as Republican leadership and the Democrat leadership. He comes out here and he's talking about these real important issues. He hits a lot of them. He's talking about fentanyl. He's talking about border security. He's talking about the railway strike that could be a huge, huge problem for Americans right now who are already facing an economic situation that is untenable. I think that Kevin McCarthy, and I'm not advocating for Kevin McCarthy for Speaker. I said this yesterday. Nobody cares what I think about Kevin McCarthy for Speaker or not. What we need to understand is we have to get back to talking about the real issues that matter to the American people. And I want to see the Republicans taking every single opportunity to go out in front of the media and take those questions where the first thing this ridiculously ignorant media wants to know about Kevin McCarthy is Donald Trump meeting with a racist bigot in Nick Fuentes. I don't understand how that even has anything to do with Kevin McCarthy, other than the fact that maybe Kevin McCarthy is the highest ranking Republican in office at this point in time. If you want to ask Kevin McCarthy that question, okay. But that's really the most important thing for the people who you serve and the people who the media serves. That's you. The thing that they want you to know the most is about a dinner that Donald Trump had with a bigot that Donald Trump has addressed, from what I understand, like 4 or 5 times since then, saying, I didn't know the guy. I don't subscribe to his line of thinking. And Kevin McCarthy said, as plain as can be, no, this guy is awful. And we don't subscribe to any of that. I want you to hear more from what Kevin McCarthy said, because he did a very good job of addressing the issues and keeping the message on track. And it makes me feel like the Republicans do have a game plan and they do have priorities set in order that even in this kind of a climate, when the Republicans get access to the majority come January in the House, that they're going to have a plan for it. So stick around. We're going to continue with Kevin McCarthy after this break. I want you to make sure you're listening today on the show. We have 2 giveaways today. You want to win some Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets? Well, you are just going to need to stick around and listen for your opportunity to win. Like I said, 2 times you'll have the opportunity to win. And if you were listening and watching the Annie Frey YouTube pre-show today, you might have gotten a hint as to when those giveaways would be. So stick around. We'll do that later on throughout the show. Michael Cunningham with the Heritage Foundation is going to join us at 1 o'clock to talk to us about what's going on in China. And it's Giving Tuesday. So we're going to speak at 1:25 with Nick Johnson from the Vitae Foundation. More from Kevin McCarthy on the Annie Frey Show when we come back.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Family is what makes your house a home, and a home theater from the Sound Room is a great way to do that. Get a 10-foot home theater today for $86.99. You heard it right, $86.99. It's a 120-inch screen. It also includes a 4K Epson projector, an Onkyo surround sound receiver, Paradigm speakers, and a subwoofer. Popcorn and installation are extra. The Sound Room in Chesterfield is the St. Louis leader in home technology. TheSoundRoom.com. Right next to Amini's in the Chesterfield Valley. The Sound Room.
When you are purchasing insurance, it's important to go with somebody who's going to personalize that experience for you. It's important to go to somebody who you can sit down with, who's going to listen to you. They're not going to just say, here's what I have for you. You're going to walk in the door, and you're just like everybody else who walks in the door. That's why you choose Laura Michael Insurance, MICHEL, LauraMichaelInsurance.com, MICHEL. She's in St. Charles, and she's been doing insurance for over 25 years. She has 25 years plus of experience of personalizing the situation to you and keeping up with your personal insurance coverage or your commercial insurance coverage over the course of the time that you have partnered together. She is on top of it. She's committed to doing insurance reviews to make sure that your needs are being met as life circumstances may change. change. If you are looking for auto insurance, home insurance, life insurance, or commercial insurance, I want you to check out my friend Laura Michael online at lauramichaelinsurance.com. You're going to be able to learn all about her and connect with her. And remember, it is a personal experience with Laura. You're not going to get put into some system and get handed around to one person after the other. You will appreciate every opportunity you have to speak with Laura because she's fantastic and she knows exactly what she's doing and she'll keep you covered. lauramichaelinsurance.com.
And he scores! Holy unbelievable goal!
Blues holiday packs are on sale now. Create your own 5-game pack from a list of games that include giveaway nights, weekend matchups, and nights the team will wear the 2022 Reverse Retro jersey. Plus, get an exclusive Series 6 holiday sweatshirt when you buy 2 packs. Pricing starts at just $32 per game. Get more details at stlouisblues.com/holidaypacks.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Surprise! Surprise! You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
Second Amendment Radio is a staple of solid firearm information on 97.1 every weekend. Saturday from 3 to 4 and Sunday from noon to 1. It's Second Amendment Radio and the great outdoors. 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Rolling down the road, going nowhere, guitar packed in a trunk. Somewhere around my mark of 112, Papa started humming a funk. I got a Jones in my bones before we know singing this melody. Stopped the car, pulled out the guitar, halfway to New Orleans, said take me home.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Appreciate you being with us. Man, it is windy outside today in St. Louis. I don't know if you're around the St. Louis bi-state region, but I was driving to work today and the little van was whipping around. Was it windy when you were driving in?
No, it really wasn't. It wasn't too bad.
You drove in hours before I did.
Like 8 a.m.
It is, according to my handy-dandy phone here, currently no degrees. My phone restarted last night, and I'm in open AccuWeather lately.
I've got 58 on my computer.
58?
Yeah.
I heard that the temperatures were supposed to get to like 70 potentially today.
Yeah, it's get real hot and then like real cold.
Stormy.
Yeah.
This is the way they were talking about the tornadoes last year in December. Was it December 12th, I believe, when the tornado hit the Amazon building? I know this because that tornado hit my parents' house, and I was there when it happened. But they were talking about, they were leading into that weekend saying, oh, there's supposed to be really bad weather. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I was at my parents' house at the time is because my dad had a knee replacement, And my mom was supposed to go to St. Louis. She had tickets for something at St. Louis. And so I said to my husband, let's just go sit with my dad. The weather's supposed to get bad. Nothing's going to happen. Because you always prepare for these things. Weather's always going to be bad. And then it storms really bad, but it's not like max level dramatic. But I said, let's go spend time with my dad. He's going to be there by himself. His knee was replaced Tuesday. I think the tornado was on a Friday. And I said, let's just go over there, spend some time over there and help Dad get around or get what he needs. And then they're showing the weather alerts that day, and every alert zoomed in a little bit more on where our house was. And it got closer and closer. And like I'm sitting there, it was my husband, myself, 4 kids, and my dad, who is like debilitated at that point. He could, if you've gotten a knee replacement, you can get up and you can move around. Mm-hmm. But you can't move around real fast. No. And you got to not screw up what was just done to your body. And it just kept going. And I said to my dad, I was like, I think we got to go in the basement because if this continues, we don't want to be getting you downstairs in a hurry or not getting you downstairs. So we went and sat downstairs, and then the tornado hit the house, and it took the roof off the barn, and eventually it took the whole barn. So hopefully we don't get that bad weather. I think it's supposed to be worse down south, but just keep an eye on it this evening because it's really windy outside, and those warm temperatures, all that wind, supposed to be cold temperatures tomorrow. Just be mindful of that. So in Washington, D.C. today, the Republicans and the Democrat leadership met with President Biden, and they're supposed to talk about a host of issues, specifically the railway strike, the lame duck Congress that is going to have a shift in majority in the House come January, inflation. Among all of these issues, they sat down and had this discussion. The first question that's asked of Kevin McCarthy, the current minority leader, potentially the Speaker of the House, come January, the first question that's asked of him when he walks out of this meeting is about Donald Trump and a dinner that he had and who he had it with. It's unbelievable. He responded to that. He condemns Nick Fuentes and moves into the actual issues that are important. And I think it's important to hear Kevin McCarthy, the person who is likely going to be the Speaker of the House come January, listen to how he continues to articulate the issues that are facing everyday Americans like you and like me, and how his majority is going to take care of it.
Keeping an eye on Twitter under Elon Musk's ownership and leadership.
That is offensive to me. Government's going to go after someone that wants to have free speech. What do they have to look at Twitter about? Do they want to go more after American public about whether they can have an opinion on something? I think the American public have spoken on this. I think our First Amendment stands up, and I think they should stop picking on Elon Musk. You know, Elon Musk has succeeded in many places. I'd bet on him more than government going after you. And one thing I would say when we talk about accountability, we'll no longer let government go after people simply because of their political views.
Sir, where do you stand on funding for Ukraine? And if you could just clarify your...
So if you listen to him talk, they talk about Elon Musk there. So they've established here what are their important questions that they need to ask. The first one is about Donald Trump, and now the next one is about Elon Musk. Has it occurred to you, like it's occurred to me, that there's not a whole bunch of leftists, wild leftists that are on Twitter that are getting their accounts back right now, maybe other than Kathy Griffin. I think she got her. Didn't Kathy Griffin? I think she did. She got her.
She
account.
did.
She got basically put in timeout. She wasn't even like a real band. It's not like a Donald Trump band. But when you pay attention to what is important to the media, the people who you might get to ask one question of Kevin McCarthy in this moment. You might get to ask one question. What is the most important thing? And then here's where you fill in the blank. What is the most important thing to whom? To the American people, who you represent, or to an agenda that you represent? And I always point back to how I got into news talk media, because I was at 97.1 in the very beginning of 2009 is when I started here at the radio station. You may not have heard me on the radio until I was on middays in 2018. I did 4 years of weekend radio before that, but I was the digital brand manager for the station, and I left sports talk radio to come to news talk radio because it was very exhausting to be in an industry that didn't really provide anything other than common opinions that everybody else has, just people sitting around talking. Providing access pulling the curtain back is what the media is supposed to do for their listeners. That's actually providing a service. So today, for instance, at 1:05, we're going to have Michael Cunningham on, who is an expert in China, has lived in China, speaks the language, understands the culture, understands the politics. He is going to tell us about what's taking place in China right now and the magnitude of it. Maybe it's a huge deal. Maybe it's a nothing burger. We'll find out from the expert. That is what I'm going to do for you. Now, there are other conversations we'll have where we're having fun. We're, entertaining each other and trying to make it through the day. But the idea of a reporter, in this instance, a reporter who has an audience with Kevin McCarthy, the highest ranking Republican in Washington, D.C. at this point in time. And their questions are about Donald Trump and Elon Musk. What you need to understand there is everything that comes out of this media is through that lens. That doesn't mean that there aren't other important issues going on. And that also does not mean that those are the two most important issues going on. There is an agenda behind that wants to make sure that the first thing that people focus on is Donald Trump and Elon Musk and the pests that they are. Kevin McCarthy does a great job of getting it back on track.
Secure when it's not.
McCarthy.
Yes, sir.
The White House say that they're keeping an eye on Twitter under Elon Musk's ownership and leadership.
That is offensive to me. Government's going to go after someone that wants to have free speech. What do they have to look at Twitter about? Do they want to go more after American public about whether they can have an opinion on something? I think the American public have spoken on this. I think our First Amendment stands up, and I think they should stop picking on Elon Musk. Elon Musk has succeeded in many places. I'd bet on him more than government going after you. And one thing I would say when we talk about accountability, we'll no longer let government go after people simply because of their political views.
Sir, where do you stand on funding for Ukraine? And if you could, just clarify your position on the meeting between Trump and Kanye West. Was that appropriate?
Look, the president can have meetings with who he wants. I don't think anybody, though, should have a meeting with Nick Fuentes, and his views are nowhere within the Republican Party or within this country itself.
Kanye West has made.
I think Kanye West should, and I don't think those are right comments, and I don't think you should associate with him as well. I'm very clear in my position, but let me walk through on your Ukraine, because I think that is a legitimate question. I remember coming here in 2015 after coming back from Ukraine. I remember sitting in the Situation Room meeting with then Vice President Joe Biden, advocating that we would sell javelins, a defensive weapon to stop tanks from Russia from coming in. Unfortunately, I wasn't successful that day. I brought a bipartisan group in. I think what Putin and Russia done is wrong. It's an atrocity. I think actions that we could have taken ahead of time probably would have made sure that they never entered. But I'm not for a blank check for anything. This is hardworking taxpayer money, and I want to make sure whatever funding we spend goes to the right places. Unfortunately, under the current majority of Democrats with full body control, what they put on the floor last time, they never gave members an opportunity to even have input. You voted on a fly-in day, $40 billion, and now they want to come back and ask for more. I want to make sure we're successful at this, but I want to make sure that no matter what we spend on come January 3rd, be it any funding, that there is no blank check, that there's accountability and there's audits.
Mr. McCarthy, how would you describe your relationship with President Biden, both leading up to now and then going forward?
You know what? I had worked with then Vice President Biden. I'd visited him at his house. We'd meet for breakfast at times. Since becoming president, we haven't met often. Look, I can work with anybody. We want to make sure our country is successful. But for the same responsibility, I think one of the reasons why Republicans are winning the majority in the House is the failed policies of this administration. I think America likes a check and balance. America wants to make sure that government is actually working for the people, not for their own political views. And that's what we'll get come January.
Sir, on the Respect for Marriage Act, Catholic bishops say religious protections in the Respect for Marriage Act are insufficient and far from comprehensive and treat religious liberty as a second-class right. As you know, it's currently in the Senate. Do you agree with that assessment by the Catholic bishops?
I agree with them, yes.
What do you make of the CR? Do you support the year-long CR? Speaker Pelosi was talking about?
Look, it's unfortunate the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And we're sitting here talking about this. Maybe this is the reason why Republicans took the majority in the House. They didn't do their job. They controlled all government, and now we're sitting at the last moment in time debating whether to do a CR or not, that we know causes pain to the American public. It's because Congress was not working. Congress was not doing their job. But from saying all that, I'm not going to sit back and let some bill pass in the middle of the night. I'm not going to let them continue to do this runaway spending. I'm not going to let them continue to ignore the challenges that we have in America when it comes to our energy policy, our border policy, or let known what we're doing in our military, kicking men and women out. I remember the president calling that Coast Guard a hero, and a week later he loses his job simply because of his own belief of not taking a vaccine for COVID. That has got to stop. We need common sense to brought back. And if we can't get common sense in appropriation bills, then yes, we'll support a CR and fix this come January.
Thank you.
Leader, 2 questions.
Appreciate it.
Sorry.
Yes.
What about members of the GOP conference who have ties to Nick Fuentes? For example, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She denounced him. Yes.
I had a question about. Sorry, I had a question about the border.
Okay.
I wanted to ask a little bit about Border Patrol officers. You were saying that there are not enough Border Patrol officers. It's been really difficult to get them into the job. Would you support, I don't know, additional funding for more officers or better pay for them or something to get more Border Patrol officers in the job?
The answer is yes, but that's not the problem. The problem that's happening right now, if you talk to Border Patrol agents, and all of you are welcome to come down and travel with me there. I welcome the president to come with me, the vice president, and any others. They're working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. But as you sit there, you'll watch on a border of people just running across. Because what they're doing with the border agents now, they're taking them going inside to the processing centers. Well, it's not their job, but they're sitting inside and they're not being able to do their job. We've watched with the new administration where they'll leave gates open, where the mechanism, the mechanics have broken, but they won't fix it because somehow they think that's working on a wall, the infrastructure. You've got to get the infrastructure working. You should actually bring people in that are just processors, they're not border agents, and let them do their job.
So Kevin McCarthy is speaking out here. I want to jump in here because I was really impressed with how Kevin McCarthy handled that press conference. The idea that he is prioritizing the American individual's experience here. And he's talking about issues that really matter. He says, in regard to Elon Musk, that when the House Republicans become the majority in January, that they are going to work to make sure that you're no longer persecuted because of the way you think politically. Yay for that. He highlights the fact that that border agent, talking about the border and the border problems that we have, which include fentanyl problems, he talks about how that border agent that was lauded a hero by Joe Biden the next week was fired because he wouldn't get a vaccine. That is a huge deal. There's a lot to unpack in that one specific situation. Our border patrol, our border problems, COVID mandates, vaccine mandates, all of those things all in one. It's very important to get back to the issues, folks, and to look at the actual intrusion that big government Democrats in Washington, D.C. have pushed into your life in less than 2 years. Show me where we're talking about issues on a regular basis. Show me where we're talking about the things that actually affect us. Because when I was listening to Kevin McCarthy today give that press conference, I forgot how many different areas all in one time in one simple press conference that included 3 separate conversations, 3 separate questions about Nick Fuentes and Donald Trump. The way Kevin McCarthy kept bringing it back to the issues, I think that that's a great thing. And again, not a stump speech for Kevin McCarthy for Speaker, although I'm not opposed to it. I really don't care. Just get the business of the people done. Just focus on the business of the American people, because the Democrats have not. They focused on the business of big government, and the media certainly is not there to be your advocate and your eyes and your ears and your voice. What they want to do is they want to be your thoughts. They want to program into your mind what you are to think, and they cover the news of the day, and they don't cover the news of the day accordingly. It's a huge problem. Stick around. We got something exciting when we come back here on the Annie Frey Show. No, it's not Wiggins America, because he requires leisure time. And I can only imagine what Ryan Wiggins' leisure time looks like. Probably a lot of baths and bath bombs from Water Sweet Soap Company. I'm not here to judge on the bath bomb thing.
Just sitting in a bath full of bath bombs and no water.
No water? Yeah. I mean, he has weird habits. He's not here, so we can talk about him all we want. He'll be back on Thursday, though. He's just taking a long break with his kids and his family, which is great. We are going to have something else exciting in the next segment. Maybe even more exciting than Wiggins America. Imagine that. Don't go away. Annie Frey Show returns in just a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
I'm Howard Mackler of GetRefunds.com. You might have heard me talk about the payroll tax refund for businesses who kept employees on payroll during COVID. But today, I'm not going to do the talking. I'm letting a real GetRefunds client tell you everything.
I'm Jason Hall, owner of Washington Crab in North Carolina. We are a seafood company with a couple restaurants and a big catering operation. COVID stopped us dead in our tracks, literally having to lock our doors to follow government shutdown orders. I learned about the payroll tax refund through research of COVID relief programs. I initially asked my CPA if I was eligible for the program, and she told me no. I heard about GetRefunds.com while listening to the radio. I reached out to them, and they immediately started helping me file a claim. They quickly got me approved for a payroll tax refund, and with that capital, I kept my staff employed, and I'm weathering this recession and high inflation. If you have a business, you should go to GetRefunds.com and start your claim now.
GetRefunds.com helped their business, and we can help yours too. Go to GetRefunds.com, powered by Innovation Refunds.
Roadmap Technologies, roadmaptech.com. Let's just go there together here while I am talking to you. Roadmaptech.com. I appreciate people like Roadmap Technologies who know that first and foremost, if you have a small business and you are thinking like, gosh, I don't really know what to do with the IT. Maybe I'll handle it. Maybe I'll ask my kid to handle it or something. Because you're not going to employ somebody who's going to do all of your IT for you. Well, it's expensive to employ somebody, of course, but also your kiddo's probably not qualified to protect the IT of your small business. Roadmap Technologies is, and they have formulated a solution for you to make it affordable for you and potentially even save you money. Because, listen, there might be a lot of hidden costs that you have paid for, that you have subscribed to take care of your IT issues that aren't actually necessary. And you might have outdated software. You might have licensure complications with things that you are using that maybe you're not current on, or maybe things that you are paying for that you're not using. Roadmap Technologies can walk you through this whole process and save you money and keep you secure. Make sure you're happy with your IT services, and I guarantee if you give Roadmap Technologies a call, you'll be able to quickly understand why so many people in St. Louis trust Roadmap Technologies with their small business IT management. 314-222-0057, 314-222-0057, roadmaptech.com.
Business is difficult right now, putting a lot of good workers at risk. If you're a business that needs flexibility with your workforce and don't want to lose your best employees, go to sharedwork.mo.gov and see what the Missouri Department of Labor can do for you.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsl.honorflight.org, and for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Big ideas, real debate, solid entertainment. You found it here.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
Take this pink ribbon off my eyes. I'm exposed. It's no big surprise. Don't you think I know exactly where I stand? This world is forcing me to hold your hand.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
It's Christmas.
It's the season to be merry.
Merry Christmas.
Hello.
Santa must have called you.
So it's it's really exciting here on the Andy Frey Show because we get to give away stuff. They always make the people in the morning and the afternoon give away stuff. But we said, no, dang it, we want to give away stuff. And since it's Wiggins America, these are actually Ryan Wiggins tickets to TSO. He was gone, and we said, Ryan, we're taking your tickets.
We're taking your tickets.
And we're giving them away to somebody. And it could be you. December 9th, I want you, or no, whoa. Wrong paper. Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets. You can call us right now to win some tickets. The details, I believe, are online. Do you print out the details for me?
I printed them out. They're over there somewhere.
Okay, 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Trans-Siberian Orchestra is coming to the Enterprise Center. Tickets are on sale now, and $1 of each ticket is going to be donated to SSM Health Cardinal Glennon. We are giving away a pair of tickets for the Saturday, December 10th, 3 p.m. show. Hannah is going to take your calls here, 314-241-9797. Let's do caller number 10 because it's on December 10th. Hannah, fire away. Phones are open right now. Tickets for the December 10th, 3 p.m. show. And this is not the only time today that we're going to give away tickets. So if you don't win today, make sure you stick around and listen throughout the rest of the show, and we will give you another opportunity to win those Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets. Have you ever seen them?
I have. And
it's intense.
It's a heck of a show.
I was with my husband, and it's like a rock show.
Yeah. Oh, it's an absolute rock show. So they grab, like, I think the show that I went to, they used the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra as their orchestra portion.
Oh, yeah.
And then they came in with all the metal gear, double bass drums, electric guitars, and they put that with the symphony, and they made the most amazing Christmas music.
I remember sitting in my chair. I think at the time I was sitting in a suite because I think I went with some station tickets. This was back when we were owned by MS. And I just remember sitting there, like, I was sitting, I'm not like a metal, I wouldn't normally, like, Metallica just announced they're coming to St. Louis, right? Isn't that a thing?
I don't know. I don't follow Metallica.
Nor do I, but I think I heard them talking about it yesterday on the Mark Reardon Show, probably. However, I wouldn't go see a Metallica show.
No, I wouldn't either.
But Metallica's huge.
Yeah, they're
Metallica's not like, gosh, what do we need to do to get Andy Frey to like us? They do not care at all. This was like a rock and roll show. I've never been to anything like Trans-Siberian Orchestra before or after. It was so amazing. The lasers and everything, the whole package. So hopefully I think she's talking to this person for a while. So maybe we do have a winner. And when we do, she can come in here and she can tell us who won. But stick around because we're going to be giving them away all week on the Andy Frey Show and 2 times today. Because we forgot to do it yesterday. Whoops.
That's my bad.
No, it's not. I saw the email. I went back and looked. Oh, man, my email is so full.
Oh, I looked at mine today. I have over 5,000 unread emails. Sometimes stuff gets buried. I got to watch them as they come in.
We've had this conversation before. Actual, like, postal service mail. How do you feel about it?
I have no problem with it.
You're not. It doesn't. I hate it.
It doesn't bother me at all.
I hate mail.
Very rarely do I get anything of any value in it.
That's the point.
But every now and then I get a letter from my uncle or from somebody who...
So you have people who write you letters?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody writes me letters.
It would make it a lot better.
No, that's not true. People do write me letters here, and they're not usually very nice.
Sometimes they leave voice messages.
Oh, my gosh. I know. I got a voice message yesterday from somebody who called me out for my use of the word bipolar. And I actually, when I started to say... bipolar, because I don't even remember what I was talking about. But I was using bipolar as a description for how something was one time one way and completely different the other way. And when I started to say it, what I should have done is I should have edited it in my mind. Instead, I said it out loud. I started to kind of move in that direction of saying that we're bipolar about something. And I said on air, you know what? I don't even know if this is really I don't know that this is an appropriate use of that word. And I don't know if this person called and left a voice message to me because I explained out loud that I was saying that maybe we shouldn't use that word. But they said that I shouldn't have. And they're probably right. So I will publicly apologize for using. They said that my usage of the term saying that something is bipolar, which has a negative context to it, contributes to a stigma out there and causes people to potentially be less likely to seek help for something like that. And I don't want to contribute to that. I mean, it wasn't my intention at all. It was, I actually had the intention of almost vocalizing that in a way that was trying to indicate that I was inclined to say one thing, but still being mindful of how I was speaking about something. And since I did that on the air, I think I failed at that. So I apologize for it. I didn't mean to offend anybody. And I know people, I have people in my life who are bipolar, and it's a real thing. So
yeah. Every now and then, though, you get smiley face voicemails too. And
yeah,
those,
people are less inclined to give smiley face. I mean, we get comments. We have people online every day commenting who love the show. I don't need. Please do not feel obligated to call me and leave me voicemails that are like really flowery, because I'm going to be honest, I don't even know how to access them.
She doesn't do well with them.
No, I don't know how to access them, but I do get a readout transcript in my email, and it's like guessing what you were trying to say. It's like the worst voice to text ever. Michael Cunningham on the Annie Frey Show when we come back with the Heritage Foundation, an expert on what's going on in China, on the Annie Frey Show in just a minute.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is without any inspections or need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-782-8000 or at chrisbuysHomesstlouis.com and get your cash offer without any obligation, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay their rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. And check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And get the offer you have been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in stlouis.com. Chris Buys Homes in stlouis.com or call 314-782-8000.
So the Diamond Shop, I love the people at the Diamond Shop. First of all, girls and boys, whatever. They have these little red bags. And the gifts come in these little red bags, and it is the perfect color red. And if you are going to get a red bag for Christmas, and gentlemen, if you're looking to give a gift and you get something in that little red bag for Christmas, it's going to be a wonderful, memorable Christmas. They've been serving St. Louis since 1910. And when you go to the Diamond Shop, you go to people who are going to become part of your family. The jeweler that serves your family, you will have people in the business. And I have people in the business at the Diamond Shop. As a customer, the Frey family has shopped at the Diamond Shop. We go there for stuff. I bought things for my husband. My husband's bought beautiful things for me, including a beautiful pearl necklace when I first got this show. I highly recommend them as a customer myself, and I hope that you'll consider doing some of your holiday shopping there this year also. You can visit them and learn all about their business at thediamondshop.net.
This season, give the gift of Cardinals ticket packs. 5, 6, and 10 game packs are on sale now and feature 2023's highest demand games and promotional giveaways. Choose from the opening day pack, the t-shirt pack, bobblehead pack, and more. New for 2023, check out the swag pack. Give the gift that lasts all season, all baseball season. Cardinals ticket packs start at just $54 and are on sale now at cardinals.com/holiday.
This holiday season, check off your shopping list with Cardinals Baseball 2023. All-inclusive tickets start at just $59 and feature a full buffet, complimentary bar, plus a great view of the game. Choose from the Premium Legends Club, the UMB Champions Club, Proficient Red Jacket Club, National Car Rental Club. Give the gift of date nights, the gift of family time, the gift of Cardinals Baseball. Get your single game all-inclusive tickets now at cardinals.com/holiday.
KFTK FM Florissant.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group.
97.1 FM Talk.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Preventing a rail strike is now on the fast track in Washington. Elisa Brady, Fox News. Congress moving quickly on legislation aimed at heading off a strike.
The House plans to vote tomorrow on legislation forcing a labor agreement between rail companies and employee unions, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says.
Weighing the equities, we must avoid a strike. It's
Jobs will be lost. Even union jobs will be lost.
President Biden urged Congress to intervene after weeks of talks to resolve outstanding issues over sick leave and other benefits appeared to deadlock. The administration helped broker a tentative deal earlier this year, but the membership of 4 unions out of 12 have not ratified that agreement and could authorize a strike as soon as next week.
Fox's Jared Halpern on Capitol Hill. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy, who hopes to become House Speaker in January, says he thinks the bill will pass.
But it's unfortunate that this is how we're running our economy today. This has all got to stop and change.
McCarthy and Pelosi, along with the Senate leaders from both parties, had a White House meeting with the president on priorities for the lame duck session, which also needs to pass a spending bill before December 16th to prevent a government shutdown. The U.S. and Iran about to face off on the world stage at soccer's World Cup with a backdrop of political tension after Iranian state media called for the U.S. to be expelled after U.S. soccer's social media platforms showed support for Iranian protesters.
The U.S. players in recent press conferences told me that they empathize with the people of Iran. They support the women's rights movement, but they're also trying as much as possible to simply focus on winning this high-stakes game.
Fox's Alex Hogan in Qatar. Team USA has to win today's match to advance to the knockout round. America is listening to Fox News.
Missed you this morning. Kim told me you weren't feeling well, so I'm just doing a self-care check.
Oh, thank you, friend.
How you doing?
Girl, listen, my energy was so low because I didn't eat breakfast when I got up, so I had to miss virtual yoga with y'all.
Trust me, I understand.
But I'm doing much better now that I've eaten, so I'm back on track.
Great. In that case, let's get some steps in tonight. I'll come over and we can walk around the lake.
Sounds good. Appreciate you being in my business, too. Now, let me get in yours. Did you check your blood pressure today?
I did that and my squats, okay?
Okay.
High blood pressure is not going to be my friend if I can help it. See you at 6?
Let's get it. See you then.
Now more than ever, it's important that we protect our hearts and the hearts of those we love. Check in on one another and be a part of a healthy blood pressure movement. Rally your squad to take the online pledge at releasethepressure.org. Brought to you by the Release the Pressure Coalition and the Ad Council.
Air Comfort Service, heating and cooling. Weather.
Strong gusty winds from the south will jump our temperatures as we go through the afternoon with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Temperatures well into the 60s. Tonight, rain, a couple of thunderstorms. Sharp Arctic cold front comes through about midnight. Could be some snow flurries late night. Winds turn to the northwest, strong and gusty, and we fall like a rock to 28 degrees. Wednesday, sunny, very windy and cold. High Wednesday, only 38. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
97.1 FM Talk and Straight Realty would like to introduce you to Brian Kilmeade in person. December 9th. For details and to purchase your tickets now, visit 971talk.com/events.
This is the time to take care of those sleep problems that you've been having. This is Ryan Wiggins. If you've been hearing me talk about the sleep apnea mouth retainers that you wear at night, they're so much more comfortable than a CPAP. But hey, they're more comfortable than you'd think, even if right now you're wearing nothing. Yes, I just compared them to wearing nothing while you sleep. I did that unintentionally, but I will state again that these retainers that you can get at Fountains Family Dentistry, I wear one and have been for over a decade now. Surprised looking back in the mirror that it's been that long. But I sleep great, and it really is because of that. You won't even know that you're wearing it. Visit fountainsfamilydentistry.com and use those benefits before the end of the year. Great time to do that. Easy to get to from no matter where you are. So even if you're in Missouri and you're going, Fountains Family Dentistry is in Illinois, it's right off of Highway 64. So easy to get to. Fountainsfamilydentistry.com is where you start. You can make an appointment right there. You can get a consultation too. But it all starts right there at fountainsfamilydentistry.com.
Brian Kilmeade here. I'm coming back to St. Louis December 9th at the Missouri Athletic Club for a Brian Kilmeade live event with my friends at 97.1 FM Talk. Enjoy a delicious filet dinner, cocktails, and we'll talk about my book, The President Freedom Fighter, and all the news that consumes the headlines. Plus, everyone who attends will receive an autographed copy of my book, now out on paperback. For tickets, go to 971talk.com/events.
Brian Kilmeade Live is presented by Straight Realty.
I'm looking forward to seeing you December 9th.
For tickets, tickets, 971talk.com/events.
The federal government is hiring 87,000 new IRS enforcement agents. Make no mistake, with spending out of control, they're looking to collect revenue. The first target will be you. If you have not paid your taxes or filed them in years, let me help you get that target off your back. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. So if you have unfiled returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Hey, here's a holiday gift from Bed Bath & Beyond. Now through December 11th, get 25% off one item by texting GIFT to 236663. That's 236663. New offers every day at Bed Bath & Beyond. Exclusions apply. See website for details.
The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, The Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
Listen to The Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
They're not reporting the news anymore. They're reacting to the news. I think social media has turned journalists more into like outrage detectors more than they are journalists. So they report on crime like it's weather. They don't report on it like it's actually a real thing.
Right. Strong chance of homicide tonight?
Yes. It's got 40% chance of felonies, and that's going to go. But it's like, because they only see the back end of the story, something like bail reform just runs right over them. They don't even see it, nor do they care.
But Greg Gutfeld making such an important point there, talking about the media is no longer reporting the news, they're reacting to it. I don't know if you were, Brad, able to listen to the whole Kevin McCarthy thing earlier today until we aired it here on our show. I just thought it was so important to juxtapose what the new Republican majority is looking to do in the House come January when they actually secure the majority, officially sworn in, to what the media's interest is. Three separate questions.
Right.
The idea that Greg Gutfeld is here talking about how the media is choosing to react to the news, that doesn't serve any purpose for the American people, but it does serve a purpose for somebody else.
You're right. I was sitting, like, during that whole interview, so I was listening to McCarthy talk, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, these people want to deal with Fuentes, and I'm sitting here thinking about this to myself. I've got real problems, and I'm not saying Nick Fuentes isn't a problem. He is a problem, but he is not the reason that my electricity bill is going to go up by 300%. He is not the reason that gas prices are high. He is not the reason that there's a border crisis. He is not the reason there's fentanyl. Yes, he's a problem, but there are bigger issues facing us right now than whatever is going on with that. And so Kevin McCarthy comes out and he's like, hey, the American people had one of the most expensive Thanksgivings in history, and we're trying to fix that, and we're willing to work with the other side if they're willing to work with us to get this figured out for the American people. And the media is over here like, yeah, but Donald Trump said blah, blah, blah. Or Donald Trump had this. And it's such a waste of my time as an American citizen.
Now, as the president pushes his green agenda, overall energy is up 17.6%. Fuel oil to heat homes is up 68.5% year over year. Natural gas, electricity up double digits. So instead of changing energy policies to address this, the president is doing a deal with Venezuela dictator Nicolas Maduro.
So when you look at what is occurring on a daily basis, on a super boring, mundane, not salacious, not sexy, scandalous story, which is what the media always gravitates towards, because it's entertaining. And listen, the media, which I'm a part of, needs to entertain you in order to keep you watching so they can sell more money and make more money in advertising. That's the way the world works. I am on a radio station that relies on our amazing advertisers who support our show, who support 97.1, who actually, honestly, support you, because when you patronize them, you make this whole circle, this whole world go around. We do something here that you deem valuable to you, whether you love what we say or you hate what we say, but maybe love hating the way we say it.
Love to hate us.
Yeah, whatever it is for you. This is a cycle. There has to be an entertainment value, and in a lot of places, what we're doing here is different than what news reporting and media is supposed to do. I mean, you could look down the hall here at KMOX, and they do have entertaining shows. They do have entertainment shows, but they also have news reports. We do that in, I guess, the morning, and we do. We have Fox News reports at the top of the hour here. If you're tuning into the media right now, anywhere, you have to know that everybody spices their pie a little bit different, and you have to understand where that's coming from in order to know what you're getting from them. It's very difficult to just get straight news from anywhere right now. I actually think that the boring, mundane stories of what's actually affecting people, that it's gotten to a fever pitch in so many different categories of stories that it's actually becoming an interesting story to talk about real issues, to talk about things that are actually affecting the daily lives of, flyover country here in St. Louis, Missouri. Fentanyl is here. Don't think for a second that fentanyl is something that is a problem simply on the border. Fentanyl is a huge problem right here. Drugs are a huge problem right here. They're taking lives right here. The idea that people are coming into this country and being dispersed all over the country from the southern border, it's a really big deal when Ron DeSantis sends people to Martha's Vineyard. He didn't come up with that idea by himself. We have been busing people all over this country from the southern border, and also people who have come over, immigrants who have come over from other countries, especially in the north of this country. We have been dispersing immigrants across this country in a way less salacious and dramatic way than Ron DeSantis did, but he did that because as a reaction to what had been taking place to begin with. These issues are affecting everyday lives, and they matter. And the media today is still so obsessed. I shouldn't be surprised by this. I should expect it. In fact, I do expect it. I'm not surprised by it. I am anticipating it. It will happen again, probably today, but it doesn't make me any less mad. It doesn't frustrate me any less that the business of the American news media, the obsession that they have with the daily Donald Trump saga, it blows my mind. Joe Biden is the president. There are, in fact, scandals surrounding the man who is in the Oval Office, not the man who's at Mar-a-Lago, having dinner with Kanye West. There are actual scandals. I mean, if that's what this is really about, if this is just about the salaciousness and the drama that surrounds people in high places and people who have power, people who are pursuing power, and they're doing it on the backs of the American people, there is drama.
And the Hunter Biden laptop story, Dan, that is the biggest example. I mean, CBS News, to quote Detective John McClane in Die Hard, welcome to the party, pal, because to your point, I've been keeping track. Let's see. That is 769 days and 2 elections after the New York Post originally broke this story that CBS came forward. And you're right about Leslie Stahl. I mean, she laughed at President Trump at the time where he said, you have to investigate this story. You're 60 Minutes. And to your point, she said, oh, no, it can't be verified. And instead, you had CBS, the New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, all running with this narrative that was provided to them by 51 former intelligence officers from John Brennan, who's currently with MSNBC. You can't tell the difference between him and Keith Olbermann now at this point.
Our friend Joe Concha there is spot on. There are very, very, very valid questions that lead a connection to Hunter Biden and his business and the president of the United States. These are valid questions that deserve answers. It might be the case that the investigation discovers and uncovers these answers, and then it becomes a nothing burger. This is the second time I've used that word today. I don't even like the word. It might be the case that we look into Hunter Biden and all of these suggestions that Joe Biden was the big guy. Well, it turns out he wasn't the big guy. Maybe Joe Biden isn't involved in any of it, and maybe the investigations uncover the real truth and none of this happened, but they should be investigated. The answers should be sought after. And a media that is so obsessed with people attaining power that they feel could be dangerous to the American people would be interested in both stories. But that's where we get to the bottom of it. They're not interested in the American people. They're interested in how the power structure that's currently in place benefits the people who cover the news, which means they aren't interested in your butt. They're interested in their own. And knowing that is an important first step in understanding how we consume everything that is provided to us. That takes us over to the Elon Musk situation. And understanding why is it that were you raised in a sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me world? Because I was. And I was born in the 80s. And I have a hunch that a few of you out there may have been born before 1984. Just an idea. I love every one of you, but if you were born after 1984, high five for you listening to 97.1. What is it about Elon Musk and the idea that free speech, people would be willing, I'm not here to advocate for hate speech, but I'm here absolutely to advocate against a handful of people in Silicon Valley being able to define what they determine to be hate speech, which truly isn't. They clearly have a worldview that at Twitter previously, under the prior ownership or leadership, they were able to squash people who didn't believe what they believed. And if you challenge what they believed, they just shut the conversation down. The only reason, the only purpose behind an entity like Twitter disallowing conversation to take place is because they cannot win the argument with their words. They cannot win public opinion with their arguments. They cannot win the argument, so they have to disable the argument from even occurring.
Apple basically have a quality control in their app store. So before anything can go on your phone, they will go through apps to make sure, one, there's not viruses or kind of spyware on it that could end up spying on you. But also they have quality controls in place when it comes to hate speech and also COVID misinformation. We saw last year the right-wing social media platform Parler was kicked off the Apple App Store temporarily for a few months until it got its hate speech policies in place in a way that Apple were happy enough with. Obviously, what we're seeing with Elon Musk now is that he is tearing apart the rulebook at Twitter, and I think what we're seeing is that potentially Apple might have some problems with.
In an incredible turn of events, that guy from CNN's name is Donnie O'Sullivan. That doesn't even sound real. He sounds very Irish or Scottish.
He is very Irish.
Apple's threatening to pull Twitter from the Apple Store? Give me a break. Elon Musk is the guy who the phrase is mess around and find out. That's not the phrase. It's close though. Is Elon Musk able to compete with Apple? If anybody is, it's Elon Musk. If there's any one person walking the face of the planet who could say, fine, I'll make a better one, that's Elon Musk. So you have big tech working against Twitter, making these kind of casual threats about, fine, keep going down this road. We'll take you off the Apple Store. Big tech attacking Elon Musk, and now the government.
Question about Twitter. There's a researcher at Stanford who says that this is a critical moment, really, in terms of ensuring that Twitter does not become a vector for misinformation. I mean, are you concerned about Elon Musk says there's more and more subscribers coming online. Are you concerned about that? And what tools do you have? Who is it at the White House that is really keeping track of this?
So look, this is something that we're certainly keeping an eye on. And we have always been very clear. And that when it comes to social media platforms, it is their responsibility to make sure that when it comes to misinformation, when it comes to the hate that we're seeing, that they take action, that they continue to take action.
What? What is Karine Jean-Pierre saying there? And the biggest problem I have with KJP in these circumstances is it's like her saying to Elon Musk, mess around and find out. I got a big problem with that. Suggesting that the United States government the Biden administration might step in and teach Elon Musk a lesson here. Big problem. We see big tech and we see big government at the same time going, high five, we'll meet you at the finish line, working against Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the biggest, strongest advocate for free speech that I may have seen in my lifetime. And he's paying a literal hefty price for it. I don't know what's going to happen next, but the idea that he's going to expose the communications that existed behind the censoring of Hunter Biden's laptop, which we go back to what Joe Concha was saying, 769 days and 2 elections for the mainstream media to admit that the Hunter Biden laptop is real and authentic. 769 days. And Twitter was complicit. Twitter took the New York Post down, who covered the story. They took it down. What were those conversations? If you have a media that is advocating for you, it should not matter what the result of the story is. It should not matter what truth will be uncovered. What should matter is that the truth is uncovered. And an advocacy media will not work for that. They will actively work against it. And we should all be on the edge of our seats to see what happens with Elon Musk, the uncovering of these documents, these communications, and where it puts us and leads us next. And get on your knees and thank God that we have a divided government in Congress. And hold those people accountable. I don't care if the Republicans have control for 2 years and they don't do anything with it. Have a plan, have the priorities laid out. And going back to what Kevin McCarthy said in the first hour, which we played for you, it seems to me like, at least as of right now, they do. They do have that plan. But I'm going to be watching very closely to see if they do anything with that majority. Get your act together, have your infighting right now, figure out what you're going to do, who's going to lead the Republicans, and then get to work for the American people, not for the Republican Party, not against the Democratic Party. Get to work for the American people. Let's take a quick break. Nick Johnson's going to join us when we come back. He's St. Louis Market Director at the Vitae Foundation. He's a friend of mine and a friend of the show. I love working with the Vitae Foundation. I do a ton of work with them through the entire year. And Michael Cunningham with the Heritage Foundation, he's going to join us at 1:45. We had to delay that conversation just a wee bit, and he'll be with us in about 20 minutes. So Nick Johnson with the Vitae Foundation, though, it's Giving Tuesday. Let's learn how we can give to a good cause in just a minute. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. Does it feel like someone is stabbing a knife into your heel? Does your lower back hurt more and more as the day goes on?
I had to go nonstop from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. Every time I stood up, pain just shot up my legs. Fortunately, I found the Good Feet store. I went to them after my doctor diagnosed me with plantar fasciitis. Now, thanks to the Good Feet store, I'm 100% pain-free.
Come to the Good Feet store this holiday season and give the gift of pain relief to you and your loved ones.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Flex spending and gift cards available. Some restrictions apply.
Stewart's American Mortgage, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Call him, text him, reach out to Stewie and talk to him about refinancing your mortgage. Yeah, even the mortgage that you got within the last 90 days. Why? Well, mortgage rates went up to record highs, and we were watching as they kept ticking up and ticking up and ticking up. And when you look at how high those rates were and the fact that when the inflation report came back, it was lower than expected, they went down a little bit. And that little bit can save you a ton of money over the course of the length of your mortgage. And when you refinance right now, yes, even that brand new mortgage that you got just a few months ago, when you refinance and secure a lower rate right now with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, you don't pay any fees that other lenders out there are going to charge you for. It doesn't cost you anything. In fact, it's going to save you tons of money and interest over the course of the years on your mortgage. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Refinance that mortgage today and secure that lower rate with Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. NMLS number 226715.
This holiday season, Diamonds Direct gives you the gift of 0% interest financing for 3 years on any purchase. With high prices and high interest rates everywhere else, Diamonds Direct is here with the incredible shopping experience you need. Our guaranteed best value prices will save you money. And with 0% interest, you can spread your payments over 3 years with no finance charge, period. And for this holiday season, we're showcasing an expanded selection of affordable and timeless holiday gifts. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, colored gemstones, and if you're upgrading her diamond or getting engaged over the holidays, we have one of the largest diamond selections in America. All sizes and shapes, all cut for maximum brilliance, and all offered at our amazing direct importer, no middleman prices. Check out our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Buy now or come into the showroom. Let one of our experts guide you in finding the holiday gift that's at the top of their list. And enjoy 3 years zero interest financing on any holiday purchase. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Attention! Did you or a loved one live at or near Marine Base Camp Lejeune in North Carolina between 1953 and 1987? If so, listen closely for this important legal announcement. From 1953 to 1987, Marines and their family members at Camp Lejeune drank water that was contaminated with hazardous toxins. The toxins found in the water at Camp Lejeune may cause health issues, especially later in life. Types of health issues associated with water at Camp Lejeune are numerous. If you or a loved one lived near Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation without going to court. Even if you were turned down in the past, a new law can allow you to file a claim today. If you or a loved one spent time near Camp Lejeune, call the Negligence Network to find out if you're eligible for financial compensation. There's no fee unless we win your case. Call 1-800-600-5536. That's 1-800-600-5536. 1-800-600-5536.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Tuesday afternoon, it's like deja vu. Renewed talk of a county-city merger in St. Louis. Councilman Tim Fitch joins us with details.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We appreciate you being with us on this windy, blustery Tuesday afternoon in St. Louis. Hope you are enjoying your afternoon and back in the swing of things, of course, after a holiday week, Thanksgiving week last week. Thanksgiving, such a wonderful holiday. Black Friday hits you, and I don't know, do you shop? You never, I always ask you, like, do you do this? And you said Terry does it all.
Terry does most of it.
All the holiday shopping?
Yeah. Except for the Christmas presents for the show and my dad. I took care of all of those.
Did you?
Yes.
Online?
Online.
So a lot of online shopping on Black Friday. And then Saturday is Small Business Saturday. And hope you were able to patronize some of your local businesses and support them this past Saturday. And then Monday is Cyber. Do we take the seventh day for the Lord on Sunday? Is Sunday not anything?
I just feel like anymore it's Black Friday extended into Cyber Monday, and they just make the whole weekend that.
Yeah, online. It's even better. Cyber Monday. But then Tuesday is Giving Tuesday. I almost wish you did Giving Tuesday first before you spent all of your money doing other things. So I encourage you to think about where you could be help. I'm going to talk in the 2 o'clock hour about something personal to me that I'm going to ask you to support, if you will. But right now, I want to talk to my friend Nick Johnson, and this is a labor of love for me, and I know for Nick as well. The Vitae Foundation is a wonderful sponsor of this show, and we are we are so happy to be able to support the Vitae Foundation, all the amazing speakers that they bring into St. Louis and to St. Charles, and the work they do to help women, and yes, of course, babies. Nick, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Always great to be talking to you.
Thank you, Annie. Always a joy and a pleasure to talk with you and your listeners.
So I want to give you the opportunity to just explain, I talk about Vitae Foundation. It's Giving Tuesday. It's an opportunity for people to go donate. I always encourage people to go donate $9.71 at vitaefoundation.org, and then they'll know that it came from a 97.1 listener. But what, Nick, do you want people to know about the efforts of Vitae Foundation? Give us your pitch right now why maybe you should get some of those Giving Tuesday dollar donations.
Thanks, Annie. So Vitae leads the world in its research of abortion decision-making, and we work to perfect the right messages to reach women, and doing that produces life-saving results to encourage a culture of life. And I think even as we back it up going into this Thanksgiving week in the calendar, I will add or insert one thing for your Sunday, that we also celebrated the first Sunday of Advent.
Yeah.
So not only have we gotten through and to Thanksgiving, but we're already preparing for Christmas, in case you haven't been online or shopping and all this get culture and buy, which is always wonderful for the economy. But like you said, it leads us to this Giving Tuesday. And instead of thinking about what's left, thinking about what we can still give. And it's been about 10 years of Giving Tuesday, and it's this global generosity movement to celebrate acts of giving. So how can we be charitable, and how can we find joy in our giving to others? And that can be our family, our friends, our community, our country, anything around the world. And so especially for Vitae Foundation and this Giving Tuesday, your listeners can help us fund the next phases of our research. So we lead the world in research, but it's leading it in a good way, not just to be the best at something, but so that we can share it to build the better good, to build a culture of life. And so we have 2 studies right now that we're entering next phases of, with our National Women's Health Study, which is really ways that we can better reach minority populations, and also the abortion pill study. And so as more and more things go to this online world, and people are doing things just in the secret and darkness of their own rooms and just doing everything on their phone and other mobile platforms, that we need to be there, that when they're looking for that help, so they can actually find real life-saving messages to reach them from this pro-woman approach of the Vitae Foundation.
We're speaking with Nick Johnson. He's St. Louis Market Director at the Vitae Foundation. I want you to go to vitaefoundation.org and consider that donate button up there in the top right. $9.71 today makes a huge difference in the life of somebody right here in St. Louis. And I always encourage you to, if you feel inclined, move that decimal point either which way and give what you can give to support these women who have the opportunity to choose life. We have to be a part of the solution. So Abby Johnson was at the St. Charles event that I emceed with Vitae Foundation, and she made such an incredible point that Roe v. Wade was overturned this year. That's magnificent. But instead of having one goal for most pro-life people who are working to advocate for the lives of the unborn and to support these women who have the right to choose right now, to choose a life, that now you have 50 different battlegrounds on this particular issue. Missouri has fought this issue and been very successful in pushing back. Illinois is now a destination for abortive surfaces, so much so that they have mobile homes that move around areas and basically like troll along borders like Missouri's, and they provide these abortive services on the go. People need to understand that the game has changed drastically. And you're talking about the abortion pill. People can get online and order a pill to be sent to their home with providing very little information. And none of the information provided really needs to be that factual. They can get a pill. They can provide themselves their own abortion in the privacy of their own home. No medical care, no mental health care that goes along with it. You are working, Nick, with Vitae Foundation to reach even these women to support them. Tell me how that works.
Right. And so that's really that battleground. It's not talking about state by state. We're not talking about looking at the landscape or the fabric or the framework, but we're really looking at that pro-life portrait. And each and every woman, when she finds herself pregnant and does not want to be pregnant, and she is reaching for help, then we want our messaging to be there so that even if she does first find the abortion pills, that then she might change her mind and how she gets connected with the reversal for that program as well, so that she can still save the life of her baby and save herself from a lifetime of regret and get the support that she needs. And so being there on all those online platforms, and you find Google ads in the digital space, and now with the new advent of things like programmatic ads where you whisper or even think something in your head, and then all of a sudden it appears in every stream and feed as you scroll mindlessly or with intention on your phone, that you see the ads for everything you think you might need or want or even just thought about for the first time, that all of a sudden it's in your face. And we want the same thing to be true for help.
Yeah.
To make sure that when they're reaching out, that there's a hand reaching back to actually connect them with pregnancy help centers, real places with real people who do provide health care, who do provide follow-up, who do have face-to-face conversations with women every day to make sure that their lives are saved.
So, Nick, when people log on to vitaefoundation.org and they see that donate button and they think, gosh, I don't even know that I can really donate what I have to spare right now. Inflation is high. People are figuring out how to make ends meet. Electric bills are going up, so on and so forth. $9.71. Does that make a difference?
All gifts, large and small. So like you said, that $9.71, that $97.10, or even that $971 gift. And I'll tell your listeners this offer today, and maybe today only or between now and Christmas, that if they want to make a gift of $971, I will sing and play for them their favorite Christmas carol. So if they're in the St. Louis area, I will make that happen. It might not be as good as any other gifts and tickets you're giving away, but if for $971, I will sing and play their favorite Christmas carol to make sure that they know that we're all getting into this holiday spirit and giving and giving and giving this Tuesday.
Nick, I will do, I don't know if it's one better or one worse, but if you get any $971 requests or donations, I will sing and perform on video a Christmas carol and dedicate it. I'll put it up on my social media. I'll sing a verse or a chorus or something, and I'll play it on my guitar or my mandolin, or not my mandolin, my ukulele. Wow. And we'll make it happen. If you get any $971 gifts today, I'll even throw out a pitch to somebody if they want to do it in a business name, to Vitae Foundation.
Well, there we go. Mariah Carey is back on the set list. Then we've got Annie Frey willing to participate.
Bit of a high bar to set. I am not Mariah, but I could potentially get Ryan Wiggins to pretend to be Mariah Carey, which would maybe be the most wonderful thing of all. So, all right. Well, VitaeFoundation.org. Nick, I love what you are doing. All of the people at Vitae Foundation, you have your hearts in the right place, and it's focused on these women, and it is a loving endeavor. It is a worthwhile investment. And on this Giving Tuesday, I hope that you'll find, folks, an opportunity to support Vitae Foundation with a donation. And certainly does not have to be $971, but we'll take it. And whatever you got to give is appreciated. Nick, thank you for your time today. We're grateful for it.
Thank you, Annie, and thank you for helping us give the gift of life.
Amen to that. We'll talk to you again soon. Nick Johnson, the St. Louis Market Director at Vitae Foundation. The place to donate is vitaefoundation.org. I just made a commitment to sing in public, which is, if you know me well, not something that I do. Oh, I will sing at church, but those people by religious obligation have to be nice to me.
Well, yeah, the Bible doesn't.
It's in the Bible.
It says make a joyful noise. It doesn't say sing well.
Yeah, it's joyful for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to make that donation, you got. I don't know if there's like a memo or something, but figure out how to make a memo so that Nick can know, and he's got my phone number, so he will be texting me $971, and I will sing and dance. Hello, my baby. Hello, my hot. And it won't be that. I'll do what I can. Maybe with some guests. That'll be fun. I hope we raise tons and tons of money. All right, let's take a quick break. We're going to connect with Michael Cunningham. He's the Heritage Research Fellow for China and Asian Studies Study Center at Heritage Foundation. He is an expert. What is going on in China? People are throwing the words out Tiananmen Square. That's a big deal. Where are we with what's going on in China? Does it affect the United States? What do we need to know? Well, I'm not the expert, but we've got one for you on the Annie Frey Show when we come back. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Some things happen slowly, and maybe you don't notice right away that you're slowing down, that you don't recover as quickly from injuries or sore muscles, and you kind of wonder why, but you just go on with your life. Victory Men's Health was set up with you in mind. They have medical doctors who've been working in the area of men's health specifically for 30 years. If you've got low T, if you've got ED, if you're dealing with any of those issues, don't suffer in silence. You can thank me later. Book your appointment at victorymenshealth.com.
I didn't ask her, but I'm just going to. Let's get into my DMs with one Hannah Gibbs. What did she say to me this weekend? Here it is on Wednesday, in all caps, in love with the sugar scrub. See, I told you, Hannah, Water Sweet Soap Company has the best sugar scrub that you've ever used. And I'm here to tell you that I had never really used one before, but when I use this, I will never go to a different one. It moisturizes my skin in the winter, in the cold months. My skin gets super dry. The sugar scrub product that they have there, it is worth every penny. I love the energy scent. She had a gingerbread scent. She said it's by far the most moisturizing exfoliator I've ever used. I love it. Unprovoked, unsolicited. She just sent me that random message in the middle of the day. Hannah, I hope it's okay that I told that story. WaterSweetsSoap.com is the website. You can go visit right now and peruse some of their amazing products. This is an amazing, perfect gift for the people in your life that you want to acknowledge with something special, and you've got maybe like a $15 price range, $20, $30 price range. You want to give them something special and something that shows that you care about them. Water Sweets has the amazing soap, signature soap bars, men's bars. They have shave bars. They have moisturizing lotion, the whole 9 yards. Amazing scents, very natural products made right here in the Metro East. Save 10% when you go online and enter promo code Annie at watersweetssoap.com.
Visit Shane Company. We have the largest selection of natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds in all shapes and sizes, each one hand-selected for its beauty.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and Wonder Lights Christmas in St. Louis is brighter than ever at Worldwide Technology Raceway. The holliest, jolliest light show around is celebrating the season from November 11th until January 1st. Open nightly, rain, shine, or snow, including holidays. Tickets now available at the gate and online at WonderLightsChristmas.com. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Illinois South Tourism. WonderLightsChristmas.com.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling and Insulation Studio. Save up to $900 in utility rebates and see if you qualify for 0% financing on a new high-efficiency HVAC system. For details and to get into your comfort zone, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Fact-checking the mainstream media daily.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You found it here. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show.
I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Friends are turning green. Yeah, the magician's a sister.
I'm wondering, what is the president's reaction when he hears protesters in China chant freedom or Xi Jinping step down?
The president's not going to speak for protesters around the world. They're speaking for themselves.
So there's no reaction?
These protesters are speaking for themselves. What we are doing is making it clear that we support the right of peaceful protest.
So there is John Kirby reacting to the protests that are taking place in China for this whole zero COVID policy that China has tried to implement, and the measures that the Chinese government is taking against the Chinese people to enforce this. It's killing the Chinese people, and they've decided to protest. Protesting the government in China, I think, is a little bit different than protesting the American government in America. But let's talk to an expert about that. Michael Cunningham joins us now, a Heritage Research Fellow with the China Asian Studies Center. Michael, thank you so much for fitting us into your afternoon. We really appreciate your time.
Thanks so much for having me.
So I want to give you the opportunity to react to that. In America, we see protests all the time. People protest all sorts of things. And the idea of free speech is a very important pillar of our society here. Tell me what's going on in China and how these protests, the magnitude of these protests, like what is the significance of that in that country?
Yeah, so protests are actually very common in China, but the geographic reach of these protests exceeds anything that we've seen since the Tiananmen Square crackdown in 1989. So what's also unprecedented about these is that protests in China are usually directed at local officials, corruption, pollution, polluted air and water and whatnot. Very rarely are they ever directed at the central government. Some of these protesters are literally chanting that the CCP needs to step down, Xi Jinping needs to step down. They are taking huge risks to do that. Most people in China, regardless of their political views, would never imagine standing up against such a brutal and powerful regime like these protesters are doing.
You know, I think it's really key for people to understand the different culture and the different government structure that exists in China. And I think that these conversations surface in news coverage. You know, if there's protests going on in China, it depends a lot on the news cycle as to how it even gets covered, how much it gets covered in America. And you just mentioned Tiananmen Square. Now, that happened in 1989. I was born in 1984. I think that Tiananmen Square is one of those historical events that everybody knows about, but I don't know that everyone really understands the historical significance of it. And I want to give you the opportunity, since you brought it up in context to what's going on right now. Explain to me briefly the story behind Tiananmen Square and how that correlates with what's taking place today.
Okay, so the Tiananmen Square protest movement, or the protest movement that we know as the Tiananmen Square incident, it was actually it encompassed many different cities throughout China. What happened was there was a fairly liberal leader of the Communist Party who was ousted, and after he died, there were protests among students mostly to commemorate him and to sort of protest the CCP's, the party's treatment of him. And that ended up just escalating to the point of being nationwide protests. And finally, a couple months into it, on June 4th, 1989, tanks that were brought in, the military was literally, it's called the People's Liberation Army. And it came in and essentially was used to, unfortunately, plow down the protesters in the area around Tiananmen Square. So many people were shot indiscriminately by the military. And it's just, it is something that it really shocked the Chinese community in China and abroad. And it has really, no one has dared oppose the regime to that extent ever since then.
And we're speaking with Michael Cunningham. He's a Heritage Research Fellow with the China Asian Studies Center. You are suggesting that maybe this might be the closest challenge to the government in China since that time. Are these protests elevating to that level?
Not yet. And frankly, it's well, first, I would say you're absolutely right that I am saying it is the closest thing we've had to that, but it's still a far cry. And the reason for this is that, frankly, even if they manage, well, at the protests we've seen so far, there have been more police than protesters. We haven't seen much activity the past couple days, and there has been a massive police presence. And so the Chinese government is very practiced at cracking down on protests, at nipping them at the bud and preventing them from escalating. Now, the people are furious, though, and so there is the possibility that things could escalate further. It's a dynamic situation. Only time will tell. But even if they do increase in momentum, it's highly unlikely that they will be able to seriously threaten Xi or the party's hold on power. It's nearly impossible for that to happen unless the protests result in a split in the leadership, which actually did happen during the Tiananmen Square protests. Some people supported the protesters. And so that's even less likely to happen now with the extent to which Xi has consolidated his power within the party.
We're speaking with the Heritage Foundation's Michael Cunningham. You heard John Kirby reacting to the question from the reporter there, asking for President Biden and the Biden administration to speak about what these protesters are trying to say and to weigh in on the protest against the Chinese government. Does the American government, is there a purpose and is there a need for more comment to come out of the Biden administration on what the Chinese government is doing to the Chinese people in their protests?
Absolutely. I read the White House's statement, and it was it was just tone deaf, shameless, you could say. The president is supposed to be the leader of the free world. He should at least speak up in support of the Chinese people. They are in a long uphill struggle for freedom. They need some support. There are Chinese people protesting in America as well and throughout the world in opposition to the CCP regime. They deserve statements of support from the highest offices of our government. The Biden administration should also be capitalizing on these protests to show, or on the situation that led to the protests to show just how dysfunctional the CCP regime is. The CCP is constantly seeking to discredit America, to discredit democratic governance, and set its authoritarian system up as being a more functional alternative. So this is a great opportunity to fight back and show the world that, look, this is what a totalitarian system like they have in China, this is what it results in.
Michael Cunningham joins us now. He's a research fellow with the Heritage Foundation at the China and Asian Studies Center. A news report came out here just recently. Fox News is reporting that China is to more than triple their nuclear warhead stockpile by 2035, according to the Pentagon. Does this story and their pursuit to expand their nuclear arsenal, does it connect with some of the political jockeying that has taken place with President Xi, his re-election? I will use air quotes for the people who can't see me. This pursuit of expanding their military, how does this all work together?
So China is challenging the U.S. for global leadership. And, expanding its nuclear stockpile is part of that. The U.S. really we need to get our act together. A Heritage report came out recently where literally we rated our military as weak. That is not good when we're being challenged by a regime like China's that is pumping out ships like they're hotcakes or something. They're just massively expanding their military. Now we see their nuclear arsenal as well. And, their intention isn't to fight a war with the United States. Their intention is to not even have to fight a war because we won't even dare fight them. We can never let China exceed us in military strength.
Well, Michael, we appreciate your time today. I think these protests are something to watch. The whole zero COVID thing in China is quite something. And the lengths that the Chinese government is willing to take to enforce it is certainly not something that we see here in the United States and never want to see. And we appreciate your expertise on the issue.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. We'll talk to you again on the issue as it continues to develop. He's with the Heritage Foundation. He is a research fellow with the China Asian Studies Center. Good to have him on here to discuss that. I can't watch these videos of these protests with my jaw closed. It's just amazing to see what it's like a different world. It's like a different reality. And I encourage you to see that so that you can maybe appreciate even more, if you haven't, and I'm sure many of you already do, appreciate the freedoms that we have here and understand why it's so important that we protect them. We're going to take a quick break. The 2:00 hour is right around the corner. Another giveaway happening for some Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets. So you're going to stick around for when we're going to give away those. Giving them away all week, so stick around. Go vote on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. You watching the World Cup, yes or no? Back in a minute. Annie Frey here to talk to you about the ENTs that are going to put you at the center of their practice. I'm talking about Gateway ENT. Online at gatewaydoctors.com, you're going to learn about one of the oldest private practice ear, nose, and throat groups in the area with multiple convenient locations for you. West County, Sunset Hills, Festus. For more than 40 years, they've been happily caring for children and adults. They are the most cost-effective alternative to ENT practices that are employed by large hospital systems. Learn more online at gatewaydoctors.com.
97.1 FM Talk is embracing the spirit of giving to support SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Please join us and donate to the Tree of Hope. Funds raised help the hospital offer programs not covered by insurance, but so necessary to a child's recovery. Most importantly, all children at Cardinal Glennon receive the best care regardless of their family's ability to pay. Thank you for supporting Cardinal Glennon. Please make your donations to the Tree of Hope today at 971talk.com/Cardinal Glennon or text the word HOPE to 20357.
It's an exciting time at Genesis of St. Charles. They just did their official groundbreaking for their first in Missouri state-of-the-art Genesis facility. I got to be a part of that on Wednesday, and I got to see all the new plans. They look incredible, and they'll showcase the entire lineup of vehicles. Of course, right now, if you want to test drive a Genesis, that's the best place to go. Not just because they have the vehicles there and very few do, and maybe you're not as familiar with Genesis as a brand overall, and you just want to try them out. And I keep saying they're young luxury, so they're going to feel a little bit different than just a regular car. And they've got their own take on a luxury car. So I encourage you to drive one. I have done so, and you will experience what I've been talking about. But do that at Genesis of St. Charles right now until the new building. They're in the St. Charles Hyundai showroom. They're part of the St. Charles Automotive Campus, just a quarter mile east of Mid-Rivers Mall on Veterans Memorial Parkway. Best way to visit them ahead of time if you just want to get an idea of what those models are like, genesisofstcharles.com.
I'm Howard Mackler of GetRefunds.com. You may have heard me talk about the payroll tax refund program that gives businesses up to $26,000 for every employee they kept on payroll during COVID. But today, I'm not going to do the talking. I'm letting a real Get Refunds client tell you everything.
I'm Ray, owner of Manzi Insurance and Real Estate. I heard about the payroll tax refund and GetRefunds.com on the radio. When COVID hit my business, I scrambled to figure out how to protect our employees and customers while still being able to service our clients' needs. They got me approved for a payroll tax refund, and with that money, it allowed me to upgrade our technology to provide the means for some employees to work remote while also protecting those that return to the office. If you have a business, you should go to GetRefunds.com and start your claim today.
GetRefunds.com helped their business, and we can help yours too. Go to GetRefunds.com and see if you qualify in just 8 minutes. GetRefunds.com, powered by Innovation Refunds.
KFTK FM Florissant.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group.
97.1 FM Talk.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Pushback on the president's new plan. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The House plans to vote tomorrow on a bill aimed at preventing a rail strike after President Biden urged Congress to step in. 8 unions had approved a tentative deal, but 4 rejected it, largely over the issue of paid sick time.
It's not everything I would like to see. I think that we should have paid sick leave. Every developed country in the world has it. We don't. But nonetheless, we have an improved situation.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi with the broad impacts of a potential strike in mind. Railroad Workers United just out with a statement slamming the president for not asking Congress to make the terms more favorable for workers, though. Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell says some Republicans may be inclined to vote against the bill. Walmart is being sued by a survivor of the mass shooting at a Virginia store last week, faulting the company for continuing to employ the gunmen.
Danya Prelo's lawsuit asks for $50 million and appears to be the first legal action taken following the shooting that killed 6 store workers and wounded several others. Store supervisor Andre Bing apparently took his own life afterward. Prelo's lawsuit claims she has experienced PTSD after seeing co-workers shot and killed in front of her. She also alleges Bing directed inappropriate comments toward her. She says Walmart should have known about Bing's behavior, but failed to restrict his access and start a look into his background.
Fox's Gernal Scott. In a must-win match against Iran at the World Cup, Team USA scores first.
Austin McKay, Des making a big run. It's meant for him. Des is snuck in behind. Des into the middle. Pulisic scores! Might have paid the price, but the U.S. takes the lead.
That just a short time ago. In the 38th minute on Fox Sports, they are still in the first half, still 1-0. The U.S. can't advance to the knockout round without a win. America's listening to Fox News.
Miss, missed you this morning. Kim told me you weren't feeling well, so I'm just doing a self-care check.
Oh, thank you, friend.
How you doing?
Girl, listen, my energy was so low because I didn't eat breakfast when I got up, so I had to miss virtual yoga with y'all.
Trust me, I understand.
But I'm doing much better now that I've eaten, so I'm back on track.
Great. In that case, let's get some steps in tonight. I'll come over and we can walk around the lake.
Sounds good. Appreciate you being in my business, too. Now, let me get in yours. Did you check your blood pressure today?
I did that and my squats, okay?
Okay.
High blood pressure is not going to be my friend if I can help it. See you at 6?
Let's get it. See you then.
Now more than ever, it's important that we protect our hearts and the hearts of those we love. Check in on one another and be a part of a healthy blood pressure movement. Rally your squad to take the online pledge at releasethepressure.org. Brought to you by the Release the Pressure Coalition and the Ad Council.
Air Comfort Service, heating and cooling. Weather.
Strong gusty winds from the south will jump our temperatures as we go through the afternoon with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Temperatures well into the 60s. Tonight, rain, a couple of thunderstorms. Sharp Arctic cold front comes through about midnight. Could be some snow flurries late night. Winds turn to the northwest, strong and gusty, and we fall like a rock to 28 degrees. Wednesday, sunny, very windy and cold. High Wednesday, only 38. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Recent impacts with inflation, ongoing COVID concerns, and geopolitical conflict have us all and the markets on edge. Heisey Advisory Group understands the importance of having a customized strategy for retirement, especially during uncertain times, to help ensure these concerns don't have an impact on your retirement. Heisey Advisory Group is a St. Louis-based, family-owned and operated holistic retirement planning firm. Our team has defined a process that puts together all the pieces of the financial puzzle, working with all of your service providers to help develop an individualized plan that grows with you as your life changes and your needs evolve. If you're not confident that your retirement plan is on track to deliver the lifestyle you want amid historic levels of uncertainty, call us today at 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Firm provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Add a little pop of flavor and fun to your company's holiday gifting plans.
At Pop Pop Hooray, we offer a wide variety of corporate gift options with over 50 popcorn flavors to choose from and unique customization options to provide one-of-a-kind popcorn gifts for anyone.
Whether you're surprising clients, staff members, or friends, let us provide you with a memorable gift that really pops.
We even offer shipping. Just give us the address and we'll handle the rest with locations in Ferguson and now St. Charles.
Call or visit online at poppopparade.com. Pop Pop Parade. More flavor, more fun, endless possibilities.
Give the gift that's hard to wrap, but easy to give. The Steel Holiday Gift Guide has outdoor power tools and more for everyone on your list. Visit your local Steel dealer or go online to stihlusa.com/gift guide.
Hi, George Weber. Check out my alter ego, Skip Weber, every Saturday night, 9 to 11. The Saturday Evening Rock Show, the greatest rock and roll show on a talk station in the world. Don't miss it.
The voice for hardworking, free-thinking Americans.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Tuesday. It's Giving Tuesday, and want to remind you that we just spoke with, in the last hour, Nick Johnson at the Vitae Foundation, and we made it's very much so like a game time decision that if anybody makes a $971 donation, I will sing a Christmas song. I will video it. I'll play it on my guitar or my ukulele, and I will dedicate it to you on our social media.
Do you know which song you would sing?
No, whatever they want. As long as I know. As long as I know it. As long as I can play
I was
it.
gonna say I have a ukulele, so if you show me what song and how to play it,
I got to show you how to play it.
Yeah, I know enough about it that I could plunk it out. But if you show me the song and gave me some chords,
Only 4
I can figure it
strings.
out. I know, and they're not the same 4 strings as a bass guitar, and that's super confusing to me.
Or as a regular guitar.
Yeah,
it's different. I would love that. I wanted to talk a little bit about. I shared this on my Facebook page, and I got permission to discuss this on the air, and I want to put this out there and just put it out there. I have a platform, and every once in a while, not very often, I will try to take the opportunity to use this platform to do something positive for people in my life. Now, my middle daughter has a classmate whose dad died before Thanksgiving. There's a shock when it took place, and he lived in Collinsville with his family, has a son and a daughter and a wife, and he had a heart attack and died. And it's been very difficult. He's younger than I am. It's been very difficult for the whole community that's a part of this. We go to a close-knit school and church, and the Anderson family is trying to figure out, this is what happens, is you see these stories of tragedy hitting a family, and it's only human to apply it to yourself and to say, oh my gosh, what would I do in that instance? And usually that sympathy, or potentially if you see something like this happen and you're in the unfortunate position to have empathy, that's usually kind of a motivating factor to give. But sometimes, if you're blessed to not have experienced something like that, you have that sympathy and you feel for them and you want to help them. And there's a GoFundMe that is up on my Facebook page. And I want to share this because this is an opportunity where a $5 donation here, I mean, seriously, a $2 donation, I don't care what you give. If you are able to help these local people who are part of my daughter's daily family, he's the son is back in school and is I think doing okay, as much as you can possibly figure out. I mean, I don't know what that child is going through. I don't want to know what that child is going through. But these unexpected losses that occur in the lives of the ones you love, you want to feel like you were doing something to help, to be a part of a solution. And I have a platform, and I care about these people. My daughter certainly does. I'm doing this for her as much as I'm, doing this for anybody. I want to be a part of something positive, and this is a way I can do that. You're a pastor, Brad, and I mean, you can speak to knowing tragedy that hits families in varying degrees. It's very hard to go through something like that personally, but oftentimes the support of community or people coming together. I mean, certainly you could speak to the religious aspects of a support group coming together because they're part of a faith family, but just the connection to other people and seeing that other people are willing to reach out. It's medicinal.
It's huge not to know that you don't have to walk a struggle alone. That's the kind of the thing. You're going to have your moments in these tough times where it's just going to be you and silence and the issue. But if you have a good support structure around you, if you have a good family, for me, it's my church family. If you have that around you, those people will hold you up when you can't hold yourself up, and they will get you through those moments until you regain your footing, you regain your strength. Because, Mike Tyson said everybody has a plan until they get hit in the mouth, and sometimes life throws some haymakers at you, and you might be tough, strong, or whatever, but whenever these moments hit, you need people around you. We're not made to be solitary people. We're supposed to have a community and friends and family to support you.
I look at these GoFundMe, Give, Send, Go, these crowdsourcing of donations. I really wonder, how much good have they done? And I know that there's been politics with GoFundMe. Give, Send, Go was kind of a response to that, as is everything has a political angle to it. But to think about helping people in the digital age, there's a lot of easy ways to help people who you may never even meet. I'm inclined, if there's a GoFundMe and it's to help somebody who I know, who I care about, I may not know the actual people on the end of that destination of where that dollar goes to, but it's also a way to support people who are trying to support people. Community is a really important thing. And I always look at our conversations that we have politically that talk about, where taxpayer dollars should be going to help. And we talk about problems that are right here in our own community. I mean, I can look out my window and see people who could use help and assistance right now. And in an election year like it is today, how much I want to slap myself and say, snap out of it, to suggest that let's get Republicans elected so we can fix these problems. There are so many problems that need to be fixed that should have nothing to do with government. And I've referred to voting Democrat as the lazy man's charity, because Democrats will campaign on helping so many people. Democrats will campaign on the woes of underprivileged people, disenfranchised people, a lack of opportunity for different types of communities. They campaign on that every election season. Are they solving any of these problems? Are any of these problems, if you elect all Democrats, are any of these problems actually getting solved? Flip the script. When Republicans get elected, are these problems getting solved? They aren't, because they're not problems to be solved by the government. These are problems that are supposed to be solved by you and me. Get the government the heck out of the way. I think about Princess Storm from Hot 104.1. She had a baby and she's like, diapers are very important and they're hard to come by for some people. I would like to help. So she just created a diaper drive. And I saw her doing that. And D to the C came to me and was like, I think that this is an awesome opportunity for you to partner with Princess Storm. And I said, let's go. Let's do this. And then the 97.1 crowd showed up in force to help a diaper drive that was being done on Hot 104.1. That's the answer. That's the solution. Brad, you got to be a part. I mean, you've come to station events before you worked here, but you got to be a part of that diaper drive. And it's great to see how generous our people are. And when they come out, how much they just want to be a part of the solution.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everything gets caught up in the politics thing, and we forget at the heart of this is people, real people. And real people on both sides of the aisle are real compassionate, and they're really caring, and they do actually have, different feelings about how they can help people, and they do. I said it before the diaper drive. I said it after the diaper drive. You're just looking for an opportunity. Like, you see the story on TV about whatever happened, this family's home burned down and on Christmas Eve. You see it every year, and people just want to be able to reach out and help because they look around and they say, I have so much extra because God has been good to me, or whatever reason they give. And they said, I want to share with that with other people. And they just are looking for an opportunity.
Well, as we're talking about Giving Tuesday and our diaper drive, Ruler Foods, which is where we went with the diaper drive with Princess Storm, was so happy with the success of that diaper drive that they asked if they could partner with us again to do some good. And so we're going to do that. I'm really excited about this. And I want you to put this on your calendar. It's Wednesday, December 14th from noon to 3. We're going to be broadcasting out at the St. Charles Ruler Foods once again. And it's a food drive. So we're going to invite you to spend a little bit of your generosity with us to help people here in our community. And everything that you bring is going to support the St. Louis Area Food Bank. Canned meat and fish, mac and cheese, peanut butter, jelly, juice, canned chili, beans, canned soup, powdered milk, crackers, fruit snacks, granola bars, just a few things that are part of how you can help. And you can go to Ruler Foods. We'll be out there broadcasting. We want to meet you. We love the opportunity to shake your hands. It's a fun day. We can do so much good, and I would love to just cause a huge, massive problem for the St. Louis Area Food Bank about how much food that they have to haul. Like, we had we're like, where are we going to put all these diapers? What are we doing? I would love to do that December 14th, Wednesday. Can you please put that on your calendar and just come, spend $5 on some canned food and drop it outside the door with us or inside, depending on, we'll be broadcasting either inside or outside. It depends on the day. And be a part of another solution. And I hope that this continues to grow. I hope every time we go out to do something like this, so we've talked about going to other Ruler Foods potentially in the future, if we continue to have success here. I've said this before. I brag about the 97.1 listeners, the Andy Frey Show listeners, and I talk about how generous you are. So I need you to help me on that Wednesday, December 14th, and show up in force with the goods, literally, to help people in our own community.
Yeah. My church the other day, this is just a story, got me thinking about this, about food banks. My church the other day, we did, before Thanksgiving, we always do a big, huge food drive, and we bring in stuff. And so after you get your food drive, you got to take it over to the food bank. We go to the local Fallon food bank, and we drop off. When we went in there, the lady that was helping us and showing us where to unload this stuff at started telling us a story about how, she said, you wouldn't believe it because the shelves were pretty well stocked. She said last weekend, this building was empty except for a few items on that shelf over there. And the thing is, these food banks are being used. People need the help. And so if you've got a chance to come out on the 14th, and even if you don't, if you could move things around in your schedule, I promise you it'll be worth the effort to move things around and bring some stuff out and help us restock these food banks. And like you said, maybe make a problem of storage for them. But they're really good at it because they can stack boxes pretty high.
Well, if you are interested in the different places we've talked about today, the Vitae Foundation, vitaefoundation.org is the website. There's a donate button right there. We spoke with Nick Johnson, who is the market director at the Vitae Foundation here in St. Louis, about how you can support women who are looking for help in choosing life. They need help. Be that help. We're not here to judge. We're here to help and to be a part of a solution to a problem that we talk about. And this is an amazing way to do that with the Vitae Foundation. And then if you are interested in helping us with that food drive, you can go to 971talk.com/events. You can see the information there about the food drive, Wednesday, December 14th, noon to 3. That's where we're going to be broadcasting live out there so you can make your donation maybe between now and the couple weeks that are going to pass before then. If you go to the grocery store, just pick up a few extra things each time you go, and then you can bring them out to us, or you can go shop at the Ruler Foods in St. Charles, where we will be broadcasting from, and you can just grab a few extra things, make the donation there. And then the final thing is on our Facebook page right now, go to the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. I've shared this a couple times before, but go read the story about this Anderson family. They have a child who's a classmate of my Evelyn, who is 6, and they lost their dad. And it is incredibly sad. It hurts my heart. And I have a platform here where I can ask you for a $5 donation or whatever you can spare to help this sweet family as they recover or move forward, whatever happens when you lose a loved one that is so special to you. If you can help the Anderson family, it would mean a lot personally to me to direct any giving that you have left to give to this family. And the GoFundMe is shared right now on the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. And if you can, share the link from our Facebook page and get the word out. Maybe you know people who can help them as well. All right. Well, we did this one time before. We're going to do it again right now. It's time.
It's Christmas.
It's the season to be merry.
Merry Christmas. Hello.
Santa must have called you.
So it's Trans-Siberian Orchestra is coming to the Enterprise Center, and tickets are on sale now for $1. $1 of each ticket will be donated to the SSM Health Cardinal Glennon, and we're giving away a pair of tickets for the Saturday, December 10th, 3 p.m. show. We did this a little bit earlier in the day. We're going to do it again now. So let's do caller 13 to 314-241-9797. That's 314-241-9797. Caller number 13. Hannah is going to be taking these phone calls right now, and caller number 13 will win that pair of tickets to the Saturday, December 10th, 3 p.m. show for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra at the Enterprise Center, where $1 of each ticket is going to go to SSM Health Cardinal Glennon. Stick around. We got more Annie Frey Show right around the corner. A whole bunch of places where you can donate. Us giving away a little bit here for free. Of course, those TSO tickets, you're going to love that show if you haven't seen them before. If you have, obviously, you're going to love it again. More Annie Frey Show hits right after this quick break. Don't go away.
Bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back your...
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Now my heart feel like December when somebody say your name, 'cause I can't reach out to call you.
So my biggest fear is there's going to be snakes in the toilet.
We're all afraid of that one strange thing. I'm Larry Mullins, the host of a new short 10-minute podcast called Your Weirdest Fears. We unpack where these fears come from.
A rat climbed into my toilet.
And learn how to manage them. Listen and subscribe to Your Weirdest Fears on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Air Comfort Service online, aircomfortservice.com. Weird St. Louis weather today. Super high temperatures. I don't know if it's super high, but warm temperatures today. Cold temperatures tomorrow, a lot of wind and storms in between. You want to make sure your furnace is in good working order. You also want to make sure, think about this, the insulation of your home, how it is providing to your energy conservation and how it can be contributing to a lot of energy and heat leaking out of your home. Corey and the team at Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling is now proud to offer you insulation services. 9 out of 10 homes are under insulated. Yours might be as well. When homes are under insulated, your HVAC system has to work harder than it needs to. This is going to cost you more money, especially as prices continue to rise. With a properly maintained HVAC system and proper insulation, you're going to see an increase in your energy savings, an increase in your comfort, and better indoor air quality. Call 314-513-0091 to find out how Air Comfort Service can be a solution for your insulation concerns. Reach out to them at 314-513-0091 or aircomfortservice.com/insulation.
Brian Kilmeade here. I'm coming back to St. Louis December 9th at the Missouri Athletic Club for a Brian Kilmeade live event with my friends at 97.1 FM Talk. Enjoy a delicious filet dinner, cocktails, and we'll talk about my book, The President Freedom Fighter, and all the news that consumes the headlines. Plus, everyone who attends will receive an autographed copy of my book, now out on paperback. For tickets, go to 971talk.com/events.
Brian Kilmeade Live is presented by Straight Realty.
I'm looking forward to seeing you December 9th.
For tickets, 971talk.com/events.
Louis.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is without any inspections or need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-782-8000 or at chrisbuyshomesaintlouis.com and get your cash offer without any obligation, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay their rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. And check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And get the offer you have been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. Chris Buys Homes in St. or call 314-782-8000.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
If you're a fan of 97.1, get a t-shirt. Visit 971talk.com/merch to see all the new t-shirt designs and show your support for St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
We've been talking a lot about the Vitae Foundation today, and that's for good reason. It's Giving Tuesday, and I encourage you to support Vitae Foundation all year. I speak at events with Vitae Foundation. I'm really more the MC, and they have much fancier people than me who show up and give amazing testimonies about the pro-life movement. But the number one thing that Vitae Foundation does that is why I stand by them and why I work so hard to support them and to connect you with them is because they take a pro-woman approach, which means they work to help women and they focus on the women. There isn't a lot of shouting and judgment. There isn't any shouting and judgment. They are advocates for women who are in a very difficult time, and they provide help, solutions, medical services, connection to medical services that is going to help them choose life. This is the solution to the problem of abortion in this country, and Vitae Foundation is doing it in an incredibly positive way. Will you donate today on Giving Tuesday to help women choose life? You can by going to vitaefoundation.org.
Just a young gun with a quick fuse. I was uptight, wanna let loose. I was dreaming of bigger things and wanna leave my
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
the mode, have a seat in the foyer. Take a number. I was lightning before the thunder.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Hannah's in the studio with her headphones on.
Yep, headphones are on.
And
That's
Brad,
right.
Brad is allowing it.
Allowing, I'm encouraging it.
I wore my headphones at my desk today. I never do that.
She wears them to the bathroom.
Yeah, I sleep in them now.
Plugged into anything, just in case Brad shows up and is like, "Why aren't you wearing your headphones?"
Yeah,
It's amazing that I have that much power over what Hannah does, and all I did was kind of mention that it kind of bothers me a
You
little
publicly shamed her.
It ended up in a YouTube short.
Yeah, that's how you know it's important.
Yeah.
Our YouTube channel, the Annie Frey YouTube channel, Anna puts together these videos. We've talked about them before, but she picks out parts of the show that I don't even remember happened, and then I watch them like, oh yeah, and sometimes I just am tickled by them.
I think I'm going to speak for our show really quick. I'm pretty sure that we watch the YouTube shorts more than anybody else.
Anna might be just making them for us.
Yes.
It's my YouTube channel, and I get notifications. I have one on here right now, and it says, I swear we're professionals. And it was a video. And I mean, it does add an element of visual to an audio platform. like 99.9% of our audience hears us on the radio or in their headphones on a podcast. We have podcasts. But if you're interested, if your curiosity has been piqued about what it looks like when we have some of these conversations, Anna is a whiz at picking out the highlights. And there was a time last week before Thanksgiving break where I don't know what Ryan was doing to encourage me to. He was just causing trouble, probably. And so I said I was going to try to screw him up while he was doing a live endorsement for Genesis. And so we all were throwing things at him, and he handled it pretty well.
Yeah, until he got hit in the face by the towel.
He was really riled up about that. Mm-hmm. It was my X's and O's rag, and he was like, I couldn't breathe, blah, blah, blah. It was funny.
It sounded exactly like him. It was almost like he was here.
Yeah.
Ryan is on vacation. He's going to be back Thursday. Maybe. Maybe he won't. I don't know. But yeah, so go check out those YouTube shorts. If you haven't seen them yet, it's a treat. And it's very fun. And it's sometimes the best of us is sometimes the worst of us. So we talked a little bit about shopping. It's Giving Tuesday. We've talked about a million different things that you can donate to. Vitae Foundation, amazing organization. I highly encourage you. They do wonderful work. Your money is well donated there. We also talked about preparing for the Wednesday, December 14th food drive. The Annie Frey Show is going to be out at the St. Charles Ruler Food. So prepare for that. If you want to do a little giving and you're going to the store today, pick up some things, set them aside, and bring them out to us on Wednesday. And then also, if you're interested in helping the sweet family, classmate of my daughters in first grade lost their dad and husband, and it's a tragedy. It's very sad. There's a GoFundMe that I have shared to the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. If you're interested in going to donate there, please consider support. $5 goes a long way, folks. If you can help them, like I said, it would be a personal gesture to me to help these people and help this family. And I would hope that if I were in this situation, that people would do something like this for me. That would be beyond words. So there's a lot of different places that you can give. Before Giving Tuesday is a bunch of different ways you can spend money. So Hannah, we talked a little bit with Brad earlier about the gift giving, the online shopping, the in-store shopping. Brad, you said that you've shopped for gifts for people in the room.
I'm done shopping for the show.
Wow.
I shopped online and in-store for one of them.
Ooh. Whose?
Hannah's.
Hannah's.
Oh.
Man, Hannah, you are the most high maintenance. Yes.
Wow.
And that would be a good YouTube poll.
Who's
Who
the
on
most high
who on the
maintenance?
show is the most high maintenance?
I would write that down because we always we had a good one. What was it?
I'm going to send it to the group DM right now.
I would love to know that, especially from our listeners, because I wonder if they see us the way we really are.
Well, there are 3 out of 4 of us that I could advocate winning that poll.
Yeah, so you're not going to advocate for me winning that poll.
It's true.
Somebody has to be easygoing.
Yeah, the thing about you, though, is sometimes you get to spout off a little bit and it's like, didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
He gets a little worked up or tweaked. Is that let's get into the therapy session here, Brad, that you didn't know you were participating in.
All right, let's do this.
These are the best.
When those moments happen where something really gets under your skin, I don't know, like maybe Hannah's headphones. Is it something, is it because...
Just an example.
Yeah.
Just an example.
Is the headphone thing, or is if there's an instance where you decide, I think I'm going to get worked up on the show today, are you just throwing yourself into that conversation just because you can? Is it because you're truly passionate about said nondescript thing, or is it something else that's happened to you in the day? Because I don't want to speak for all women, but this is what women do. Something happened 4 hours ago, and I'm just gonna. It's 2:33. I think it's time to let this emotion out. And if you're in the.
That might even be 4 years ago.
That's all I can stands, and I can't stands no more.
Yes, because you are the easygoing guy.
Mm-hmm.
I will often, especially when Ryan is here, try to tweak you guys a little bit, and Ryan just it is not possible for him to not take the bait.
No, he has to.
I sometimes get you, but not usually. The height thing got you.
I throw a bone.
I haven't forgotten.
Throw a bone out there every now and then.
Is that what you're doing?
Yep, sometimes. Sometimes I'm not.
Sometimes
but you'll not know. No, I like my wife will know this, but I'll get something and it's something so trivial and stupid, but it's so incredibly annoying and frustrating because sometimes it has to do with like inconsiderate, people being just inconsiderate in their own world. It happens a lot on the road. Like you're driving and this person is not paying attention to what's going on around them, and they don't even realize. And it's not just me. Like I don't really get frustrated if somebody's driving slow unless I get caught behind them, and then there's like 64 cars behind me.
Are you when you're driving and somebody is?
I'm Mr. Wheeler.
What's that mean?
Well, yeah, what?
Kevin Wheeler?
No. I'm Mr. Wheeler. Goofy did a short, Mr. Walker and Mr. Wheeler.
Goofy?
Yeah.
Like my Goofy?
Yeah, old school.
My Goofy?
Old school Disney Goofy.
Oh.
And he's like, Mr. Walker's kind and polite and
Mr.
nice.
Wheeler.
And when Mr. Walker gets in his car, he becomes Mr. Wheeler.
Yeah.
And he's like all angry.
That's you.
Ragey. Yeah.
Are you so
but not
how
outwardly.
do you I was going to say if you were raging in your car because someone's going 62 miles an hour in the fast
In the
lane
hammer
pacing a semi truck that's kind of going faster than they are and you're behind them. How does that manifest itself in you? What happens?
Okay, so I'm annoyed that they're not paying attention.
That's
or that
an
they
internal
don't care.
emotion.
Mm-hmm. So that's internal. And then this is just my personality. I start looking for ways to get around this person.
Like the shoulder?
No. Shoulders aren't ever big enough and you ruin tires that way, and that's too expensive. So the last thing I want to do is
that's the only reason.
In my anger, do something like that and then cost myself a lot more money than time. But look for ways, try to read how the traffic's going to open up and then get around. And as soon as there's enough space, I get around this person. As soon as
What do you do when you pass them?
I just go around them. My windows are tinted on my truck, so it doesn't matter what I would do on the inside.
You
They
don't
can't see
do
it.
the like
No.
look at them all the way.
The hand throw.
No.
The finger throw.
Yeah.
Why? I just go around them.
Some
Now, they're
people
not
do
my
it.
problem anymore. Sometimes I'll look just to see like, okay, is this person on their phone? You can usually tell if they're on their phone, but I'll look and see if they're on their phone or something like that. But it's not like a glare at them. It's a side eye or a look. Sometimes
Is it important for you to know who the person is?
No, I know who the person is by driving behind them.
But I mean, like, does it matter? Does it matter to you if it's an old lady who's driving that way, or if it's a 20-year-old, somebody who's way not as experienced as a 21-year-old,
right?
If it's a kid who's like on their phone or not paying attention, does it make a difference to you?
So it will make a difference if it's a person or somebody on their phone, especially like you guys know the look, right? Where they hold their phone out low and they're kind of looking down like I'm hiding my phone. But
we know you're on your phone.
Yeah. Everybody knows you're on your phone. I'd rather you hold your phone up high and have your eyes up where the traffic is instead of down on your desk.
So will
then
that
the
change
cops
your
will see it.
reaction?
I dislike that more because of how dangerous that is.
Is that outwardly expressed?
No, because I can't do anything. Like
You're
outside
so
of
composed.
outside of me passing them like I'm driving in a NASCAR race, there's nothing that I've had people get upset with me and throw a fit. And you know what it does to me? Nothing. It does nothing. Like flip me off. I don't care. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. So why would I do it to somebody else? Because I know if it doesn't bother me, it's not going to get to them. And I don't really even want to cause any sort of.
No. I think you're wrong on that part.
You think it would bother them?
I think people are always looking for a reaction. I think a non-reaction is a reaction, and a powerful one.
Well, I'm not worried about them. Once I'm around them, I'm around them.
But I'm saying that if you, I think it's the right choice. And I say this as somebody who got passed in a blaze of speed by somebody who did not like how fast I wasn't driving, and I was not driving slow.
Mm-hmm.
And they were moving into St. Louis, and we were coming across the stand span, and I've told the story before, but he zipped around me. He looked at me when he went past me, and I kind of like furrowed my brow. I don't flip people off. I don't do that. I keep my gestures to myself. I might say things in my car that aren't like visibly said, but I might say something out loud. But I kind of gave him a dirty look when he drove past me because he was driving like a crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
And we came up to that
was my bad, by the way.
halted. Yeah, right. Well, he came up to a halted stop on the Stan Musial Bridge before we got to a point where it was exiting into downtown St. Louis or onto, 70? And we were sitting right next to each other, and he pulled a gun on me and pointed it at my face. And we were in standstill traffic on a bridge. I had nowhere to go. I'm glad he didn't pull the trigger because I'd be dead right now. So I am a non-reactive. If somebody is tailing me, I get out of the way. I don't. It's just this city is nuts. This city is scary. It's dangerous, and these people who are willing to do that in traffic, they don't have anything to live for, and they don't expect not to die soon.
No.
And my life, if it's a speed bump in a way to from them to get from point A to point B, they don't care. And I have more important things that I need to live for. That drastically changed. Like I straightforward. I drive. I
drive with a purpose.
I'm in a hurry.
Annie's intentional.
But I don't do anything with attitude in my car post that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even really do anything in that time. But I know that if I would have, maybe he wouldn't have just pointed his gun at me. I literally had the thought in my mind for a second, do I drive off the bridge? Because I was looking down the barrel of a gun. And he was 15 feet away from me in the sitting next to me in the lane. So I'm a high advocate. Please, please, please don't be the person who throws your arm up at somebody because you're passing them because they're driving wrong, because you just don't know. People are crazy.
And like, here's something. This is going to sound really weird, but when people are driving in the slow lane, I'm not mad at you for any other reason than you're impeding my progress. I just want to go home. I just want to get home after work.
Driving slow in the fast lane.
Slow in the fast lane. It's not personal. When I'm around you, I've forgotten who you are anyway. And so just understand, it's not personal. I'm not trying to get on your nerves or anything like that. I would just like you to move over and allow me to go around, or speed up a little bit and then move over and allow me to go around and allow me to go home. It's the same thing. Like if I look in my rearview mirror and somebody's riding my tail, I'll get over and let them go around. I don't care. They can drive faster than me. I don't care. It's not a race. And that lane isn't a birthright. It's not my lane and it's not your lane. We both have to use it. And if you would be so kindly as to just move over and stop impeding the flow of traffic.
Brian says Annie has been carjacked pumping gas and had a gun pointed at her face while driving into the city. It's amazing that she still works in St. Louis. Stay thug life, STL. I mean, it is. I have literally seen a few things in my life. Well, if you haven't heard me tell the carjack story, I'm not going to tell the whole thing right now. But I was carjacked at 4:15 in the afternoon after a day game let out in April. It was there were people of all walks of life everywhere because people were flooding out of Busch Stadium. It was 4:15 in the afternoon, and I was 7.5 months pregnant and carjacked by two men who just decided to take my car. And I'm standing there at a gas station by Taco Bell downtown St. Louis without a car. It's just unbelievable. And there's nothing about this city that makes me feel more safe than I did that day. And so I get out of this town. I get in and I get out of this city. And it's a shame because I should be spending more money bringing my family downtown to be entertained here, to experience the urban life that St. Louis has to offer. And I don't. I'm not stupid. It's very sad. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, let's get to today's YouTube live chat poll, which this is kind of an indicator of what my answer is to this question. Hurry, flood the YouTube live chat poll right now on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Are you watching the World Cup? And that doesn't necessarily mean like right now. That means at all. Let us know. Yes or no. The answer is yes or no on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Hannah will have the results and some reaction. When we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
If you are like me and my husband, we tend to buy each other gifts for Christmas that are like joint gifts and improvements for the house. Is that boring? Maybe. But when that new flooring gets installed in your house that you've been putting off and you decided this is the year you're going to replace it, you're just going to kind of count it as the Christmas gift to each other that year, I completely understand it, and I'm all for it. Michael's Flooring Outlet has amazing selection of opportunities for you for your flooring purchase, different budgets, different styles, different looks, different ways to achieve those looks. And when you go to Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com, you are going to be able to shop their carpet tile, their hardwood, their laminate, regular tile. You can shop in store. You can also shop at home. Research your flooring purchase at Michael's Flooring Outlet. You can first start it at igotfloored.com. You can visit one of their locations here in St. Louis. These folks have been doing the flooring business here in St. Louis for almost 30 years. They are experts at it. They are local. And when you shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet, you are shopping local. They're wonderful people, a wonderful family, and great sponsors of this station. Look them up online at igotfloored.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. Does it feel like someone is stabbing a knife into your heel? Does your lower back hurt more and more as the day goes on?
I had to go nonstop from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. Every time I stood up, pain just shot up my legs. Fortunately, I found the Good Feet store. I went to them after my doctor diagnosed me with plantar fasciitis. Now, thanks to the Good Feet store, I'm 100% pain-free.
Come to the Good Feet store this holiday season and give the gift of pain relief to you and your loved ones.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerberg's.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Flex spending and gift cards available. Some restrictions apply.
Goodwill and St. Louis Union Station have teamed up to take you under the sea and over St. Louis. When you donate a car, running or not, you can receive 4 tickets to the St. Louis Union Station's aquarium and wheel. Donating a car to Goodwill is quick and easy, and towing is free. Plus, you'll get a good feeling from donating to a charity that does so much in our community. For more information, visit mersgoodwill.org.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO. Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
If you're retiring soon, join us Saturday at 9:30 a.m. for your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service now offers insulation services. Did you know 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated? Increase your energy savings and comfort with better insulation. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Friends of the Gelman team, Mark and Neil Gelman. Mark is with me.
Ultimately, houses are not crashing. This is not 2008.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
It's 9 o'clock. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We appreciate you, and we're glad that you're here with us on this Tuesday afternoon. Ryan Wiggins is out for today and tomorrow, but he'll be back on Thursday. So if you've been missing him, that's where he is. Each day, we do a YouTube live chat poll, and today's is Hannah. You want to take it from here?
Today's YouTube poll is asking, are you watching the World Cup? Yes or no? Do we want to go around the room and say whether we're watching it?
Yes.
I am not watching it. I never have watched it. Ever. Never will.
Brad?
I don't particularly love watching soccer, but the World Cup is such a spectacle that I watch the World Cup. But I only watch certain teams, so I'm not like every game, every second, every minute. But,
you big Iran fan?
No.
Generally
I like watching Cristiano Ronaldo play. He plays for Portugal, so I'll watch Portugal.
Heard that name before.
Germany, I like watching play. I don't really like Messi, so I don't watch Argentina. My prediction is that France is going to win the World Cup this year. And don't ask me why.
Okay.
Annie?
No. I'm aware that the United States is playing right now. I'm always pro-United States. I'm not watching it. I don't understand soccer.
Me either.
Was telling our boss, Steve, who's huge into soccer, loves soccer. Am I saying this right? KMOX is the St. Louis City partner?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah, that's super awesome.
I'm going to go to a St. Louis City game. Or 6 or whatever.
Well, it's an awesome thing for the city. St. Louis, as I understand it, is a huge soccer city. And I know nothing about soccer. And I'm a sports person. I am an athlete. I don't know. Do you age out of calling yourself an athlete?
No.
I mean, like, is Ozzie Smith going to be 90 years old and be an athlete?
Well, I think Ozzie Smith is always athletic compared to other people his age, though.
Oh, so it's all relative.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, he's an athlete because he was an athlete in his prime. He's just not in his prime anymore.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I'm an athlete.
Can you still shoot a basketball?
Heck yeah, I can still shoot a basketball.
That's an athletic feat.
Yeah. I'm still okay at sports, but I have really, you all are laughing at me and you're like, oh, Annie, just wait. I know, I get it. But I am capable of going out and competing in basketball and volleyball, and I can still hit a baseball or a softball pretty well, I would say. But it's just like the 38-year-old version of that is disappointing. I know what I still have the mind of the 17, 18-year-old four-sport athlete that I was in high school through my senior year, and I still know how to do all of the things. I look at Adam Wainwright and I think about this because he's super. There is in professional sports athletes, I assume, but I think specifically when it comes to baseball, there has to be an arc of your physical ability and talent that God gave you, and your knowledge of the game combined with experience.
Mm-hmm.
So that is your physical and your mental contributions to what makes you a pro athlete. And I look at somebody like Adam Wainwright, Albert Pujols, probably Yadier Molina, but I think catching is a little bit of a different thing because the physical toll is so much larger for a catcher. But as your physical abilities start to wane a little bit with age and your need to train and how you handle your nutrition and all this stuff changes from the time that you enter pro sports at 18 or 22 or whatever the sport is, like your physical prime and your level of experience peaks when you're maybe like 10 years into the sport. If you're an Adam Wainwright and you're pitching, which is so mental, there's so much mental, there's studying that has to go in. You got to know so much about everybody who you're competing against, every batter you're facing. There's so much mental contribution that can make you a more competitive athlete that I look at someone like Adam Wainwright and as he's talked about, his fastball isn't what his fastball was before, but if his curveball still curves the way it's supposed to, he can still use his brain and the experience and the knowing what it's like to compete at the highest of high levels in Major League Baseball. He was on the mound when they won the World Series, right? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a big deal. A huge deal. And it was in 2006 when he was young.
He struck the guy out.
Yes. And
Brandon Inge.
I mean, it was a big deal. And you act like you've been there. That's a really big deal when you don't even need to act like you've been there because you've been there. So you get to compete at a really high level. I never competed at a higher level than varsity sports in high school, and I was very into athletics. And now I coach basketball, and I help run drills and stuff at practice and all that stuff. But there's ibuprofen involved on a regular basis. And I have to drink a lot of water. And I have to make sure that I wear the proper shoes because my ankles might give out. And it's just important to keep being active, but it is depressing to put in all the effort that it takes to maintain that activity.
But it's going to be so much worse if you don't stop staying active.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to keep going. And Like, it's weird that you mentioned that because, like, I feel like in my own life, I didn't achieve my peak athletic ability until I was probably 29.
Was it after
30.
you lost a bunch of weight?
It was after I lost a bunch of weight, so that was a big deal on that.
Post-heart attack.
Post-heart attack. But then, at that point, my body could finally do what my brain was telling it to do.
So there you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played volleyball, basketball, softball, and track through my senior year of high school. Never, ever did soccer. The only experience I had with soccer was my kid brother who played Y League soccer, and it was at 8 a.m. on cold, rainy, nasty, but Saturday mornings. And it was awful, and I hated it. And I despised my brother for making me have to get out of bed to get dragged along to this miserable event, and I never recovered. So no, my answer to the poll question is, are you watching the World Cup? No.
No.
And it all comes back to that. I don't.
And it's all your brother's fault.
It's his fault. Absolutely.
Does he watch the World Cup?
I doubt it. No. My recollection was it was before they like eliminated cherry picking, which I assume would be offsides.
Yeah.
He would just
Offside.
he was like 7 or 8, and he'd just stand down by the goal. They'd kick him the ball. They'd win like 12-0, and we were all like, and he's like, "Mom, I scored 12 goals today.
I got this figured out."
So what do we got over there? On the
All right, the YouTube poll is asking, are you watching the World Cup? Yes or no, with over 160 votes. 80% of the people said they're not watching the World Cup.
Because you're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
20% said they are. Katie from YouTube said, I wouldn't even know what the World Cup, I wouldn't even know that the World Cup was happening if it wasn't for the Annie Frey Show.
I kind of regret bringing it up.
That's funny. Rob from YouTube said, are you watching the World Cup? Only when I need to sleep?
Oh, I hear that. I feel that. Like, you turn it on because you want to support your country. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pay attention to what's going on in Congress. That's how I'm going to support my
Just
country.
gonna wait for everybody to yell, and then I'll look at the screen.
Paul Stallings from YouTube said, it's soccer. Not even a blip on my radar.
Anybody out there, like, passionate about it? Other than Brian Kilmeade?
I don't see any comments.
Steve and our boss? I want to make Hannah do soccer reports, World Cup reports.
That'll be interesting.
How about World Cup reports that Ryan Wiggins writes for you?
Oh, man.
All right, I'll do it. I'll do it. Don't pull my leg.
We know you're off, Ryan, but we need 3 soccer reports by tomorrow.
Bingo.
Send them to the show, and we will, do the thing. Stick around because the Mark Reardon show is coming up, not Brian Kilmeade. I'm looking at the Kilmeade event paper right in front of me. Have you got your tickets yet? 971talk.com/events. Happy Giving Tuesday. Stick around. More 97.1 in just a minute.
You have 3 ex-wives and